A special night at the Bell Center for both the Anaheim Ducks and the Montreal Canadiens. Not only are the Ducks getting John Carlson debuting in his first game with the team, but also it is the eve of the 30th anniversary of the opening of the Bell Center at Montreal, Quebec. It's a site of where they saw their new arena open back in 1996 in a city that has been known full of hockey. The Ducks are currently second in the Pacific Division. The Canadiens are third in the Atlantic. Both teams are in the thick of a playoff hunt with 1 month left to go in the regular season. With the Ducks chasing their first Pacific Division title since 2017, the Canadiens chasing the slumping Tampa Bay Lightning for second in the Atlantic Division. Anaheim is seeing the debut of Carlson, who was their prize trade deadline acquisition. He has not played a game of hockey since February 5th. It's the second and final meeting in this year's regular season series. The first match, played on March 6th, saw a high-scoring explosion in the third period. The Habs scored 3 consecutive goals, 2 coming from Cole Caulfield, in between first minute and last minute Ducks goals from Leo Carlson and Chris Kreider, respectively. The latter adding to his 3 assist night on that night. Anaheim prevailed 6-5 in the shootout thanks to Cutter Gauthier and Alex Killorn. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava, and both teams are playing their second set of back-to-backs. The Ducks lost 2-0 to the Ottawa Senators yesterday, all 23 of their shots getting stopped by Linus Ullmark in their second game of their Eastern Canada road trip. It's the first game of a 5-game suspension for Radko Gudas. He was handed down the hammer for kneeing Austin Matthews, resulting in a grade 3 MCL tear for the Leafs captain, ending his season prematurely. The Canadiens also lost their first game of the back-to-back set 2, 4-2 to the San Jose Sharks, of a 2-goal night from Macklin Celebrini along with an assist on Colin Graff's second period goal, standing as the game winner. However, the Habs won their 3 previous games before this match. Yesterday, Ducks head coach Joel Quenneville forecasted Carlson to make his Anaheim debut for this game. Everything is checked out for the longtime Washington Capitals defenseman to play. The all-time scoring leader among Caps defensemen has had his debut with the Ducks. It's exciting, especially as it comes in a city with so much history as Montreal. He left the Capitals with 166 goals, 605 assists, and 771 points in 1,143 games played, all records among defensemen in the history of the Washington Capitals. And on the eve of the 30th anniversary of the grand opening of Bell Center, the Habs fans will celebrate 3 decades of Habs hockey and will get a glorious chance to pick up a victory at home ice. They are 5-0 in the second half of back-to-backs this season after losing the first game. Brendan Gallagher is also returning to the lineup after being healthy scratched for the first time since his rookie year in 2013. We go over to what to watch, beginning with the Ducks. They're coming off a 2-0 loss to the Senators, and the result captures the current tension in Anaheim's playoff profile. Under Quenneville, they're generating tons of pressure and putting pucks at the net at a high rate, but the finishing has not always matched the volume. Rookie forward Beckett Seneca was active, and Cutter Gauthier, the team's leading goal scorer, remains one of the biggest threats in the lineup. Throughout this season, Anaheim has shown they can create enough offense to truly test good teams. The Ducks did address their blue line at the trade deadline to haul in John Carlson after a long career at the Washington Capitals. His game is more about offense than it is about defense, but his defensive numbers have actually improved as he got older. He saw among the fewest defensive zone faceoffs with Washington this season before the trade, but it could still be the edge Anaheim needs to grab the top seed in the Pacific. Quenneville is hoping Carlson can stabilize things after the team has been winning on almost a nightly basis, has now lost 3 of their last 4 games, and fell at the top spot in the Pacific. Lucas Dostal appears to be on track after a pair of wobbly outings earlier this month. Czechia's starting netminder allowed just 1 goal in Tuesday's win over the Winnipeg Jets, and should see a lot of action next week, while the Ducks face the Flyers, Mammoth, and the Red Hot Sabres on alternating lighter nights. Nonetheless, the Ducks are a fun and competitive group that's never out of a game, no matter the score. They're giving up a lot of goals, but that won't rule them out at the top spot in a very flawed Pacific Division. Now for the Canadiens. Every team would love to have their first overall pick be like Macklin Celebrini, Connor Bedard, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid. You get the point. But most players require time and patience before meeting expectations. Look no further than Yuri Slafkovsky in his 4th NHL season, on pace for nearly 70 points. He has quickly established himself as a top 6 winger, putting up 50 points in his second season as 51 in his third. Any team would be happy to have a player who can provide that type of production, but for a first overall pick, he was underwhelming. His uptick in production, along with his star turn playing for Slovakia, has changed the narrative all around him. All eyes are going to be on Brendan Gallagher being back on the lineup after he was healthy scratched last night for the first time since his rookie year. The 4th line did look dangerous for the first time coming out of the Olympics, with Alex Texier working hard to create chances, and that's the challenge that Gallagher faces. With Texier's strong performance, it is not known who is going to be scratched in the lineup, though it could come down to between Texier and Zach Bolduc. Despite playing a better defensive game at home against the Sharks, the result was still the same as it was when they were at San Jose. They had the usual great steps in playing the puck below the zone, but there were too many hopeful pass attempts at the top of the zone trying to get the puck through defenders that sent play the other way. It's an opportunity for a turnaround. Jacob Fowler is going to be in net. He is facing the better of the two teams in the schedule, with the Habs hoping his calm presence can make up for any fatigue the skaters are feeling. He faced 34 shots on Wednesday and saved his best for last to preserve a 1-goal win during a 6-on-5 situation. Jacob Fowler just played his 12th game this season, 256 GA, 906 save percentage. Dushdow, 306 GA, 891 save percentage. He was excellent in the quarterfinal game against Canada. We're just about ready to go here. In Montreal, Troy Terry is back in the lineup. He's been out of the lineup for the last 8 games of an upper body injury. Having played 46 games this season, he is one of the top point scorers on the Ducks. 13 goals, 32 assists. 45 points. The referees for tonight's game are Francis Chiron and Frederick Lecuyer. The linesmen are Julian Fortier and Jesse Marquis. Carlson's out on the ice for his first Duck shift. Out there with Gautier's line, and here we go. Let's get rocking and rolling. Carlson sends it in, and this will be collected by Jeffrey Viel. Viel trying to hold it. Viel, Paling, and Gauthier as Troy Terry returns to the top line. So here we go. First period underway between Anaheim and Montreal. Up for the far side is collected by the Habs. Texier brings this one across. Swing it all the way through, and it's behind the net. Anaheim picks it up. Center one up for Viel, and this will go all the way to Montreal zone for an icing as we check up with our starting lineups, beginning with the Ducks. Chris Kreider, Leo Carlson, and Troy Terry, Alex Killorn, Michael Granlund, Beckett Seneca, Jeffrey Viel, Ryan Paling, Cutter Gauthier, Frank Petrano, Tim Washi, Jensen Harkins in the lineup. For Anaheim, Mason McTavish is a late scratch for the Ducks. Jackson Lacombe, Jacob Trouba, Owen Zellweger, John Carlson out there with Pavel Minchikov and Ian Moore. Dushdow, the starter. Ville Husso started yesterday, is the backup. Montreal has it up for the far side, and they send this down towards the near corner of the Duck zone. Trouba there, Cole Caulfield, part the top line with Nick Suzuki and Yuri Slafkovsky back to retrieve it. Foot race, and this icing was negated by Troy Terry. He beat Mike Matheson, and this early shot was kicked out by Fowler. Retrieved by Caulfield, away from Kreider. Played behind towards the left point by Dobson. Lacombe on the hold. Kreider, the former New York Ranger, slid this one around. It'll be recollected by Caulfield, away from Moore. Gauthier in pursuit. The Habs have it. Swing this one up. Some nice moves by Slafkovsky. And he angled this one around. Ian Moore is the first one back. He replaces Drew Hallison in the lineup on this third pairing. more since it's won around. It's to be retrieved by Matheson out there in the top pairing with Caden Goulet. Seneca on the pickup off the steal. Controlling on his backhand on one hand. Gets knocked down by Lane Hudson. Seneca looks out in front. Mintyukov. Mintyukov goes back for Seneca. Seneca fires it. Went off a body. Montreal going after this puck as Goulet got pinned. Granlund tried to pass across. The Habs have it back. Ivan Demidov. Lane Hudson rushing towards the net. Demidov trying to go down low. Cut off by John Carlson. Demidov keeping this one alive. Or rather, that's Lane Hudson, whose brother Cole just signed his entry-level contract with the Washington Capitals. Moving in, and Zellweger. Fowler to save. And we have a skirmish afterwards. Harkins wants to go after one of the Habs. Alex Newhook gets in the middle of it. Newhook on the same line as Oliver Kapanen and Ivan Demidov. A little bit of an edge here. It's Texier, Jake Evans, and Kirby Dach, I would think, on this Montreal lineup. If Zach Bolduc was not a healthy scratch. What a play by Anaheim to get the speed to Zellweger. And Lane Hudson took exception to Zellweger going towards the crease and doing a snow shower on him. And then it was all chaos. Tim Washi also there. It's not making things easier for either side. I have to hope that this microphone gets through. Of course, I am good on the Twitch side. That is for sure. All right, so here is Anaheim on the pickup. Josh Anderson goes back. All right, check, Ian. Are you able to hear me?
Yep, I hear you, man.
All right, I was kind of worried because there are no audio bars right next to my Twitter Spaces feed, but since you can hear me, all is good now. So we are 3 minutes into Anaheim versus Montreal. I just texted you about the March Madness placements. Mizzou is the 10th seed in the West. High Point is the 12th seed in the West.
All right, good luck to both of our teams. If we happen to meet, may the best team win.
Yes, sir. Here is Trouba, another former New York Ranger. Not out there on the ice with Chris Kreider as it's Ryan Poehling who takes it in, who fires it right off of Fowler. Trouba sends it wide. He was looking towards the right side of the crease as Dobson tried to get it out. Another former New Yorker, but he's formerly with the Islanders. This one went under the stick of Texier, former Blue Jacket and former Blue. So with Gallagher back in the lineup, one of the Habs forwards had to be a healthy scratch. Didn't know who was going to be who. But it turns out the odd man out was Zach Bolduc, another former St. Louis Blue. Gallagher was a healthy scratch yesterday for the first time since his rookie year. Anaheim trying to get the first goal. They're deep into Montreal territory, but the Habs have it. Here's Dobson, acquired this offseason for the Islanders as New York was transitioning to the Matthew Schaefer era. Dumped in deep. First one back deep. It's Mintyukov. Slavkovsky also battling for it. He was a standout for Slovakia in the Olympics. Slavkovsky trying to outmuscle his way throughout this pile. It'll be recollected by the Ducks. In year one of the Joel Quenneville era, no Mason McTavish for the Ducks. He is a late scratch in the lineup. Played right on in front, and it's the Ducks with it at the point. For the left side, moving down in. Quick shot. Zellweger fired it up high, and it's out of play. So it's 85.8 miles per hour on the Zellweger shot. So I already filled out my bracket. I don't know if you're filling out your bracket already, but this should be chaos.
I hope so. I just want Missouri to get past the first round. Because right now we're doing congratulations. You still can't get past the first round.
Oh man. Oh boy. We'll see how it goes for Mizzou coming into March Madness. I know a lot of people are hyping up High Point as a potential Cinderella story. Given that we're the 12th seed in the West region. And given that we're facing off against Wisconsin and Arkansas, as this is a glove stop by Dostal, giving up the first opponent is Wisconsin, and if we do face Arkansas in the second round, I like our chance against both Wisconsin and Arkansas.
Yeah. But Anaheim and Radko Gudas, who's not playing, I don't think, but
He's
still,
suspended.
Yeah. The Ducks don't really have that many allies right now.
Well, no. We'll get more to the Gouda suspension once we get to a break. But Anaheim has all 3 shots here. They got shut out yesterday against the Ottawa Senators amidst the fallout. And moving in is Demidov. He fires stick save Doshal. And he played this one out. Ivan Demidov has been a phenomenal talent in his first full season with the Montreal Canadiens. He is 5th on the team in points with 52. Has picked up 14 goals in his rookie year.
Yeah, but actually I need the Ducks to win today because I need Montreal, Detroit, and Boston as close as possible in the standings to each other till the end of the season. Because if all goes well, both Detroit and Columbus get into the playoffs, and Boston gets knocked out.
I'm with you there. As Doshal makes another stop, but this puck was close to him. We know many people, they want Detroit and Columbus to make it in as wildcards. Montreal's chasing 2nd in the Atlantic because as of now, this is a sentence that nobody would see coming at the beginning of the season. The Buffalo Sabres are in the hunt, not just for first place in the Atlantic, but first place in the Eastern Conference as a whole.
Oh my God. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I have to say this. Any game in which the Sabres can mathematically clinch the playoffs will be Darien.
Oh, yeah. What's the math on that right now? Actually, we'll discuss. That's another thing to discuss at the next time out or next break. But I'd like to go over the math on that.
Well, say by Fowler, he'll cover. As of now, the Sabres' chances of making the playoffs are over 99%, but they have over a 56% chance of winning the Atlantic Division. Imagine this. Nobody would have believed you at the beginning of the season if you said this, but here is the reality of it now.
Yeah, but now I'm actually. How many games do they? How many regulation wins do they have to have from now till the end of the season to officially clinch? Not the Eastern Conference, but just the playoff spot. It can't be that many still, right?
It can't be that many. We'll have to see how many games are left on the regular season. We're back here, and this is kept in. Well, never mind. We're going to go to our first commercial break. So let's check the standings right now, Ian. As of now, the Buffalo Sabres have 15 games left on the regular season. They are first place in the Atlantic with 88 points. Tampa Bay and Montreal each have 17 games left. It will be 16 left for Montreal after tonight. But Tampa will have the edge with games in hand against Montreal either way, regardless of the outcome of tonight's game for the Habs. The Sabres have won 9 of their last 10, and the Lightning have been slumping lately, so this is good news for the Sabres.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Right now, the Columbus Blue Jackets are on the outside looking in by 2 points for a wild card spot. Currently in the wild card is the Boston Bruins and our friend John Ott's team, the Detroit Red Wings. So, if we're looking at this, Detroit just needs to hold fast, keep winning, the good stuff, and the what do you call it? And Boston needs to lose at least one game. Now, remind me, Alec. Is Columbus part of the Atlantic or the Metropolitan Division?
Columbus is in the Metropolitan. They are 1 point out of a wild card spot, 2 points out of third in the Metro.
Oh, so they could, if they just find any kind of consistent form, and either the Penguins or the Islanders falter, they could jump past the wild card and be top 3 in their division.
That could be the case, and Columbus is getting that help from a strong home record.
So let's take a look. The Senators are beating the Sharks. Not really a surprise. Let me see. So none of the Atlantic teams are playing today. But if we look tomorrow, you have the New Jersey Devils playing the Boston Bruins, and the Penguins versus the Avalanche.
Oh, that's gonna be a fight to the death for the Penguins. It's a good thing that we survived that whole 5-game suspension for Evgeny Malkin, and Crosby's coming back soon.
That is good. Again, the Penguins scare me a little bit. They have an unusually deep roster, and you wouldn't expect them to.
Yeah, and there's a clear identity that Dan Muse has established with this forward core, and budding chemistry between Evgeny Malkin and Igor Chinakhov. That's scary.
Yeah.
A first-round series between the Pens and Islanders would be a showdown between the two teams, because you know about Crosby versus Schaefer. That would be a battle. Here is Dobson circling around the right circle, going down low for Demidov, missed him. U-hook on the keep. Stanley Cup champion with the Colorado Avalanche. Got traded to Montreal, and here is Anaheim moving back the other way. Under the guidance of 3-time Stanley Cup champion Joel Quenneville. All of those Stanley Cups he won with the Chicago Blackhawks. From the right circle, this is controlled by Killorn. Another Stanley Cup champion, he was with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and here's Carlson, who'll fire this one up high and wide. And we're talking about Stanley Cup champions. Carlson won a Stanley Cup with the Washington Capitals, so they have loads of Stanley Cup experience with these two teams. Killorn retrieves it back. Part of the back-to-back champion Lightning, that is, 2020 and 2021. Carlson and Zellweger have to get off the ice soon. And Zellweger got off. Carlson staying on. Here is Terry moving in. First game back in the line. Pass left side. In front score! Leo Carlson! Great first goal by Anaheim. Great tic-tac-toe passing play. And the Ducks on the board. John Carlson, 63 seconds on the shift in which he saw the first goal that Anaheim has scored while he is wearing a Ducks uniform. Welcome to Anaheim Orange, Johnny. That was a good passing play. Troy Terry, welcome back to you too. He saw the open man from the left side while he was on the right circle, and it was a perfect feed. Carlson had a wide open net to tap that too. And that was excellent for the Ducks to get on the board. This will be reset by Cole Caulfield. The Canadiens only have 3 shots in this game. Slavkovsky sends it up through the opposite side, batted down. It will be recollected by the Ducks, looking to build on this 1-0 lead. Anaheim is 19-6-0 when scoring first. Terry is at the near corner. Here is Caulfield, munched up by Carlson. Lane Hudson picks it up. Hudson just tied the rookie record for most assists by defensemen, set by Larry Murphy with 60 last season. He's building off of that as their number 1 defenseman. He has 66 points, 55 assists this season. Carlson from Kreider and Terry. Arbor Jacki, who replaces Jaden Struble in the lineup. As Montreal looks to get it out, it bounces to the Anaheim point and towards the right side on the entry. The Habs come back. 2-on-2 as Gallagher sends it back. Carrier to Jackeye. Jackeye's long shot was deflected away by Minchikov, but held inside by Gallagher. 5'9" back in the lineup. Not the tallest guy, but he is a grinder and a big presence who plays with a heart of a lion. Near the midway mark of the first period, Ducks lead 1-0 thanks to Leo Carlson, the assist from Kreider. Jackeye is tangled up. He frees the puck away, but is held in by John Carlson. Going around for Jeffrey Viel, the former San Jose Shark. Gauthier around for Paling. Tries to find Gauthier. Evans tied him up. Jake Evans, part of that 2021 Canadiens team. He'll drop it back, and he'll move it up. Deflected away. The Habs trying to go back with Texier. Evans has to retreat as Viel was closing in on him. Montreal has it. It's Mike Matheson, a former Pittsburgh Penguin. Intended to send us up to the far boards, but coming in with speed and numbers are the Habs. Evans drops back. Texier. Alex Texier towards the left point. Holding is Matheson. Dobson holds. This one deflects off a leg. And the Ducks will get this one to center ice. Seneca tries to drop it through. The Habs were in the way. Nick Suzuki gets pinned down. That was Killorn, who'll drop it back all the way for what I think is Jacob Trouba. That is Trouba. To the right, Seneca blazing through. Seneca tried to send it for Killorn. And one of the Habs got in the way, altered the angle trajectory of that shot. Hudson to the right. This is chipped on towards the far corner by Oliver Kapanen, cousin of Kasperi Kapanen, who plays for the Edmonton Oilers. Breakout pass was settled down by Hudson. Demidov up the far side. Too far for him. Lacombe handles. Trouba couldn't. Newhook pins him through. Hudson goes down low for Demidov. Demidov in front. And Kapanen was tangled up. Caden Gooley sells it through to Lane Hudson. Penalty coming up against the Ducks. Here is Gooley's shot. This will be settled down by the Ducks. And with 9 minutes to go in the first period, when we return, our first power play of the game, it'll belong to the Montreal Canadiens. We'll get to see Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Demidov, and Hudson controlling this first power play unit for Les Canadiens. We'll be right back. So, Ian, as for Atlantic Division teams, they're playing right now. Only 2 of them are playing at this current moment. The Canadiens and the Senators, they're beating the brakes off the San Jose Sharks. They've just about sealed this one against them. 7-4, the score with 50 seconds left. Soon it'll be the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are way out of playoff position, and the Florida Panthers, who are also way out of playoff position.
Yeah, and at this point, well, at this point, Toronto is just playing for draft position and you can't blame them because Matthews is out for the rest of the season and probably gonna miss a chunk of next season too. You know, as much as it sucks that happened, this may be the time for the Maple Leafs to consider a change
in the coaching ranks,
or just the roster ranks. I mean, depending on what number pick they get, it may be good to go ahead and what do you call it? Maybe turn over the roster a little bit and reload.
Once you're eliminated from the league, from the playoffs, at that point, you're not checking the playoff standings. You're checking the league standings to see what draft position you're going to be at. The penalty is on Alex Killorn for hooking Oliver Kapanen, and so the Habs will go to work. Lane Hudson controls. Suzuki down low. Slavkovsky tried to feed it down low. It was a little too hard to pass. And here come the Ducks. Beckett Seneca has to hurry. Nick Suzuki did a good job reading that. And in open space, partial break for Slafkovsky. He'll defer behind. Demidov, curling drag. Ran out of space and overskate that puck. And it's cleared out. Hudson will have to restart. His brother Cole signed his entry-level contract with the Capitals. Another brother, Quinn Hudson, part of the Edmonton Oilers system. Lane Hudson steps into it from the high slot. Goes to Slafkovsky. Tic-tac-toe. Good job of closing that out from Mintyukov. Settled down at the far quarter. And then back to the far half boards. Hudson gets the feed from Demidov. A high shot. Gets tipped by Slafkovsky. Cleared all the way out. Dostal had to save. Jacob Fowler plays this one to Lane Hudson, who will restart. Or rather, that is, I think it's Noah Dobson who is on the ice manning this second unit. Brendan Gallagher is on this second unit. Texier trying to go for Kapanen. Ian Moore was in the way, part this third pairing next to Mintyukov. Texier sends this one around. Zellweger rushing into it. Habs keep it inside. It goes to Texier. Swat across. What a save by the Stau on the left pad. It's behind the net as Neil tries to get this one free. Kapanen and Texier also joining in on this board battle. Tim Washi trying to pin it as much as he could. Texier trying to dig it out. Moore also there. Kapanen too. And it's dug out by Dobson. Racing across for it is Gallagher. Oh my goodness! He got erased on the play. Fans are irate. It's going to be a penalty against the Ducks. And it'll be 11 seconds of 5-on-3. And followed by a minute 49 of 5-on-4. A clear trip, obvious as to the light of day, as Brendan Gallagher got erased.
Sorry, I'm way behind you, but wow.
You know, what does your scorebug say, by the way?
The referee just made the tripping motion.
All right, so I'm gonna reverse back to a few seconds so as to just look at the replay. Oh my goodness, that was clear as day from Zellweger, Ian. Dude, that wasn't just a trip. What was that?
That was what happens when. That would be if the coach of a soccer team told somebody take his out.
Oh, that looked like a penalty inside the box in soccer. All right, so the Killorn penalty expires. He's back on the ice. Demidov on the entry. So we're back on 5-on-4. It was a brief 5-on-3 period as Suzuki. He'll look back to the left point for Hudson. Nick Suzuki for the left circle. Going down low. Here's Caulfield playing it. Caulfield looks to the high slot. Hudson, one-timer. Glove save, Dostal. And Demidov was looking for a deflection from Slafkovsky in the slot. And Slafkovsky playing that Chris Kreider position, by the way, being at the net front. Slafkovsky was a standout with Slovakia. And we've seen the heroics that he can do at the Olympics, carrying his team to a semifinals appearance. Face-off is won by Washi. It'll be Michael Granlund trying to get this one away from all sorts of Montreal guys. Caulfield and Slafkovsky both there. The puck poked loose. Suzuki, Washi, Slafkovsky. Suzuki got it free. Lane Hudson outmuscled by Washi. Suzuki gets it away from Moore. Caulfield twisting and turning away from him. Suzuki trying to get this one through. Slafkovsky stopped by Dostal. Hudson from the point. Suzuki fakes a one-timer. Going across. Demidov. Caulfield tries to stuff it home. Could not do so. Slafkovsky keeping this one alive. Here's Demidov. To Lane Hudson. Looks. Demidov one-timer. Oh, what a block. That was Michael Granlund. He is hobbling a bit. And he is staying on the ice. What a warrior. Washi trying to clear sets to get Granlund to the bench. And he'll get this one all the way to Fowler. And Granlund finally gets off. What a block by Michael Granlund. But taking it is Hudson. He'll drop it back. A mishandle by Gallagher. Hudson gets this one around. Here's the rebound. The puck loose. Recollected at the left circle by Texier. He'll look back and it's Hudson. staying on for this power play. Hudson shot this one wide, looked for a deflection from Kapanen. And this one bounced off the glass, cleared all the way down. And Fowler will play this one behind. This should run out the 5-on-4. Alex Newhook charging in for one last-ditch effort. Texier fires this one wide. We're back to 5-on-5. Mike Matheson, he'll look across for Noah Dobson. Dobson fires it, and that's wide again. Gallagher blocked in front. The Ducks have numbers. It's a 3-on-2, but one of the Ducks goes out for a change. Here is Troy Terry, first game back. He feeds Leo Carlson. Leo Carlson looks to the right circle, and Kreider's stopped by Fowler. Had a wide open look at the bottom of the right circle. And extra penalty killing for the Ducks. Here's Ian Moore. Shot pass down low, stopped by Fowler. He looked for deflection. And Texier takes charge of it. The Ducks will go back on the defensive. Montreal gets his one up front. The pass a little too far for Josh Anderson, part of the 2021 team, alongside Philip Deneau. They were not line mates, but they controlled the middle six. Now they are line mates. Dobson deep one-timer. And that one deflected wide. Anderson kept it alive. Over to Matheson. Intercepted by Terry. He'll slowly walk his way to the red line. Dump it in. The Ducks make their changes. Jacob Fowler plays this one out. He's a standout goaltender for the Boston College Eagles. Canadiens move it up front through the middle. As he'll be bouncing up front for Dostal. He'll play this one out left side. Kept alive by the Habs, but a mishandle kills off any momentum. The Ducks go back the other way, up the far side. Great poke check there by Montreal, and they'll go back with some numbers here. 3-on-2, now it's 3-on-3. One-timer, kick saved by Dostal. Was going to go wide the net anyway, and now it's Cutter Gauthier, who did not want to play for the Philadelphia Flyers after he was being drafted by them. Traded to the Ducks for Jamie Drysdale. Drysdale now in Philadelphia. And this puck over by the Anaheim bench. With the Habs trying to get this one up and through, looking to even the game up. Slavkovsky pins his men, and the Habs will go back. Arbor Jacki sends it in deep. And rushing in towards the near quarter, it is Jackson Lacombe. Davidov tangled up. Kapanen too. Lacombe trying to pry this one out. The former number one power play quarterback for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 3 minutes left. And this is up high. There's a high slot. Kapanen fakes it and fires it. That's wide. This is Newhook up the pickup. Looking towards the point. Newhook twice across for Jacki. Jacki going to Lane Hudson. Tried to make one too many passes and that backfired, but he kept it in. From the left circle, going down low. Montreal's keeping the pressure alive. Here's Lane Hudson towards Demidov. Demidov gets muscled off the puck for a brief moment. Able to keep it at the point. Demidov with a spin around Vetrano. Here's Jacki, long shot. No, still able to sit on it with 2:27 to go. We're even up at the shot board, 7-7. But Lucas Dostal is keeping the Ducks lead 1-0. Nearing the end of the first period, we will be right back.
Look, whatever you may think of Gautier's actions towards, publicly stating he didn't want to play there, the fact of the matter is, he was right. Because once again, the Philadelphia Flyers are an unmitigated disaster.
Oh my goodness. What else do they have to do just to fix it? Imagine that they would be going on a full-scale teardown and only to see the Penguins lap them on a rebuild that hasn't even started. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Man. And this is just, when it's funny how in sports, something as simple as having the right coach can be the difference between failure, mediocrity, and finally putting it all together.
Yeah. And that's the Dan Muse effect in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Which I am impressed with this new coach for Pittsburgh. because it seems like, he has taken three aging veterans, somehow found a way to help them get back to their prime, not get back to their prime, but once again make it. It's like he's brought them back to their prime, and he's done that by helping the youth and role players on that team turn into the cores that Letang, Malkin, and Crosby needed. I mean, again, I go back to Justin Brazeau, who came out firing from the opening game. I don't know what he's doing now, but I had to figure he's doing okay. The Penguins are doing okay.
Oh yeah, he's on a third line role with Anthony Mantha and Ben Kindle. That line's been buzzing.
And Anthony, wasn't Anthony Mantha supposed to be? Wasn't Anthony Mantha rotting on the Detroit Red Wings like 5 seasons ago?
He used to be. That's so strange that now he's thriving in this Penguin system in the middle six. And as it turns out, it's the right fit for him. We're in the final 2 minutes of the first period. Ducks will have a 1-0 lead thanks to Leo Carlson. The assists from Chris Kreider and Troy Terry. This is Terry's first game back. John Carlson's Anaheim debut. From the near corner, Matheson in trouble. Anaheim picks it up. They kick it back out towards the left point. Zellweger finds Leo Carlson. John Carlson's position at the right point. Down low is Terry. Going to the far corner. Back up for Zellweger. Going across for Carlson. How nice would it be to score in his Ducks debut? Leo will move around up high. Watched by Dobson. Dobson got a stick on it and queers it out. 1:26 left in the opening frame. It'll be moved up the middle towards the right side for John Carlson. He'll fire it around the end boards. On the keeper off the deflection with goalie. Backhander, save, rebound! Fowler shut down both with 75 seconds left. A little hot potato at the slot. So tomorrow, some key games. The Penguins and the Avalanche. Flames and the Red Wings at 7 p.m. Pens and Avs at 9:30 as that's at Ball Arena. But Flames and Red Wings will be the one in which it's going to draw a lot of intrigue in the Atlantic Division and the Eastern Conference wildcard race. So we're at 9 shots apiece. Anaheim and Montreal face off to the right of Fowler. False start against Granlund. That means Killorn will take the face-off in his wake. How about John Carlson? First game as a Duck after being the franchise leader in points among Capitals defensemen. And now a false start against Montreal. So now it's Philip Deneau who will take the face-off in Kirby Dach's place. And it's won by Killorn. A stick lift for the far side. And Beckett Seneca will keep this one in. He is one of only 2 forwards who are righties on the Ducks active roster, the other being Troy Terry. Last minute of the first period. We're moving up for the middle as it's Ian Moore. Lost the handle. And moving back is Anderson with Philip Deneau with him. Deneau going to Anderson. No deflection in there. Goulet able to hold. Caden Goulet is tied up. Up the far boards. Minchikov tried to get it out but couldn't. Ian Moore gets shoved out of the way by Anderson. Deneau up there. Far corner. Anderson trying to weave through. Gallagher could not escape with 30 seconds left. And the Ducks get it out. This will be gloved down by Goulet. And Goulet is going to carry this in. Goulet lost an edge. The Ducks will take this one back. Beckett Seneca trying to start it up. This will be dumped on in. And Fowler will handle this one out. Backhanded towards the far corner. The Habs will have one last chance to even it up before the end of the first period. Up the near side. Shut down is Evans. 5 seconds as Lacombe skates away from it. And as it's cleared out towards the Montreal zone, that'll end the opening 20 minutes. Tomorrow will mark the 30th anniversary of the grand opening of Bell Center, but these Habs fans want to see some goals scored from Les Canadiens. They currently trail 1-0, and it's Leo Carlson as the only goal in the return of John Carlson and the return of Troy Terry. So, about the Ducks, we were meaning to discuss on that Austin Matthews knee-on-knee collision. I have to say, yes, Radko Gudas is a repeat offender, but nobody sticks out their knee by accident. When it goes to the point that Connor McDavid has to notify about more consistency about NHL player safety rulings, you know that this should have been an in-person hearing and not a phone hearing. Man. So I have to pull this up about Gudas. Because he Alright, so he did speak out about the Gudas suspension for the season-ending hit. And yes, Matthews, it's a grade 3 torn MCL. He's out for the year. So this process is ran by a DOPS, but McDavid said, quote, if every time there's a suspension, everybody complains about it, well, why don't we take a look at the process and figure out if there's a better way to make sure that both parties are happy, because it seems like there's a lot of frustration. And I agree with McDavid.
Yeah.
And of note, McDavid and Matthews share the same agent. Oh my. Of course, the criteria should be clearly established. The severity of the infringement, the injury sustained, and the history of the player being suspended. There is a severity of this because Gudas stuck his knee out, Matthews suffered a severe injury that knocked him out the season, and Gudas is a 4-time repeat offender. So he's not a first-time offender. So given his suspension history, let's say along the lines of, let's say at least 10 games or so.
Yeah.
Oh man. This doesn't sit right at all. Alright. Just looking around through the recent news here in the... Alright, so... Of course, we're exploring scenarios in which we're going to see about playoff situations. And I'm going to say some sentences that are strange but true, Ian. If the Golden Knights were switched over to the Eastern Conference, and bring up the Golden Knights because they're the Pacific Division leader, Vegas would be the 11th place team in the East and will be 3 points out of a playoff spot. On the contrary, the Ottawa Senators, who are the current 10th place team in the Eastern Conference, would be the Pacific Division leader. No team in the Pacific Division would be in a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference.
No. So, that just says to me, you know, and unfortunately, this gives the whole, you know, the whole thing about just have the first 16 in the league be the leaders. Unfortunately, this season is giving that some water. Unfortunately,
that could be, though. I have to also say, given the discrepancy, the vast point differential between the 3 Central Division leaders and the 3 Pacific Division leaders, I could also argue that this year should be the final straw that breaks the camel's back for the divisional format. Because there's no way that Dallas versus Minnesota should be a first-round matchup. especially when you consider the points between Pacific and Central. 94 is Dallas, 88 is Minnesota, 76 is Vegas. Then you have Colorado, 97 points. Of course, people have been screaming about bringing back the 1 through 8 format from the beginning. Of course, the NHL wanted to bring back rivalries, but you could get that in a 1v8 format too. It doesn't have to necessitate two divisional rivalries. We can also get 1v8 rivalries as well. We saw that from time to time, as was the case with Chicago versus Los Angeles. All right. So, I want to switch over to the NFL because the free agency period has come and gone. So, I want to ask you, Ian, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs picking up Kenneth Walker?
Okay. So, running back was a definite need. It has been so long since the Chiefs had a marquee running back since rookie Kareem Hunt. They needed one. And now, 3 years, $43 to $45 million may seem like a lot, but consider that that's also the contract that Brian Cook, our former safety, got from the Bengals. I will take what we got, what we gave to Kenneth Walker.
I love that signing for the Chiefs because running back has been a dire need because Isaiah Pacheco's trajectory has gone downhill. Now he goes to Detroit as the backup to Jahmyr Gibbs. If Detroit's planning on splitting the carries between Gibbs and Pacheco. But also, Aloy Gilman should be an upgrade at safety, if you think. Because you also got him on a deal. He goes from the Chargers to the Ravens, and now he's signed by you guys, Gilman.
Yeah, so now as for the other signings they made, Aloy Gilman, that was one of them.
Oh, Kairos Tonga on the defensive tackle side.
Yep, Tonga for D tackle. I like that as a depth signing.
Yep. And that's a necessity because opposite Chris Jones, you need it to beef up that D tackle room. Plus for run stopping.
And I do like the re-signing of Tyquan Thornton. I do. So, but as for the rest of the NFL, dear Lord, I mean, hey, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, good luck, fellas. Seriously. Those men got paid.
by the Rams, nonetheless. Oh, man. I have to say, Les Snead continues to say, F them picks when it comes to McDuffie. And I like the return the Chiefs got for McDuffie. All right, I want to give my thoughts on the Steelers free agency as well, because I want to chime in on some of the pickups that we made. And I did cover this on Foursquare Sports, but technically Michael Pittman Jr. is not a signing. He's a trade acquisition, but he's a dire need for us. We were lacking a wide receiver too. And adding Pittman gives us another big body opposite DK Metcalf. Jamel Dean might be the most underrated signing of the entire free agency period. because PFF saw him in a very good light as a shutdown corner with the Buccaneers. And having him opposite Joey Porter Jr., this is a very nice 1-2 combo at the corner room. And no hyperbole, this could be the best corner room of the AFC North. Because I'm not high on the Ravens corner room. The Browns, they'll be there, and they have a good corner room too between Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell. The Bengals corner room is the ultimate wild card because it's DJ Turner and then everyone else. But I think we should easily have the best corner room. But the last major signing that I want to get to from us is Rico Dowdle. He's a Kenneth Gainwell replacement since he's gone off to Tampa Bay, and losing Gainwell stings, knowing that he had over 1,000 scrimmage yards for us. But Dowdle is the power back that can complement the speed back that Jaylen Warren is. Some other signings I like are Jaquan Brisker for the safety room. It says to give some competition either for Jalen Ramsey if he wants to be retained as one of the 2 starting safeties, or if the anticipation that Deshaun Elliott still needs time to recover, we can also use Ramsey at the slot. He can be utilized anywhere. Brandon Echols can also be utilized at the slot. And Sebastian Joseph Day as a run stopper, which I like for us. Because our defense was trending upwards on the run defense category with Derek Harmon inserted into the fold. Joseph SJD is a good run stopper in that regard and a true nose tackle. So I like this for us. I'm not going to lie, Ian. There was a lot of uncertainty with us after Mike Tomlin left. But Omar Khan hit all the right buttons in free agency. I'm going to wait and see what the future holds for us under center. But I'm expecting Aaron Rodgers to be back, which not the worst option, but you could do a lot better.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. But if it means that Will Howard's going to learn more from Rodgers, I'll take that. All right. So, among other free agent signings, what other free agent signings do you like aside from our teams?
Not sure.
All right. I'll have to say Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips. I'm grouping these two together because they're both signed by Carolina, and defense you could say was something of need for the Panthers, despite making the playoffs. Remember, they were 8-9, so it's clear that they still have a lot of holes on the roster, but they're a team trending upward, and they need to address defense. Adding both Phillips and Lloyd gives them 2 game breakers on defense. So Dan Morgan is thinking on a serious note about competing in the future for his Panthers. But I also want to bring up another saga. What a mess in Baltimore.
Oh, man. Alec, Baltimore is going to find it. If they don't win the Super Bowl like Vegas, listen, the Vegas Golden Knights screwed over a lot of their players in the quest for the cup. They got that cup. But if Baltimore does not win a Super Bowl with Lamar and in this era, not only are they going to be ridiculed, not only are they going to be ridiculed for pretty much ever, they're going to find that they're going to find it very hard to find a trade partner look, if they had signed Trey Hendrickson before they traded for Max Crosby and then said, okay, we already have Trey Hendrickson, maybe it wasn't such a good, and then they saw the damage, I could stomach it. Because you already had your option and we're thinking, oh yeah, we'll just go ahead and have these two on the same team. I get that. But they rescinded the trade, and not even 12 hours later, they signed Trey Hendrickson as if they already had a line on him.
It's just a mess. And
it is a mess.
They drew the ire of a lot of GMs, even though Baltimore exposed a legal loophole in the legal tampering period. This entire saga between Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, and the Ravens is going to have a huge domino effect on what happens to the future of free agency. Which brings us to ask, are they going to get rid of the legal tampering period? Which I honestly don't hope so, but the issue is very black and white. It's not clear whether the legal tampering period it should be done away with or not, but oh my god, it's such a mess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to say, Hendrickson may be the better edge rusher now, but Crosby has the higher upside between the two edge rushers, and edge rushers beyond the age of 30 don't tend to go well. Which I have to say, despite adding Hendrickson, the Ravens already lost several players in free agency. Isaiah Likely, Aloy Gilman, and Tyler Linderbaum. And the Ravens did nothing to address the loss of Linderbaum.
Nope, which makes me think they're going to do that. They may have to do that in the draft.
They may have no other choice.
Yeah.
Right, so being interviewed by Ali Lazaf of Victory Plus is former Oilers head coach Jay Woodcroft, who is now the lead power play coach of the Anaheim Ducks. Which, the Ducks, they haven't done much to change their power play up. It has not really improved as of yet, but even though we were anticipating that their power play would see improvement under Woodcroft, that hasn't happened this season. But under Joel Quenneville, the Ducks have became a fun team to watch. They give up a lot of goals, but their goal scoring has been much improved and the players have a breath of fresh air. So, Anaheim is in position to make the playoffs for the first time since 2018, when they got swept by the San Jose Sharks. They scored 4 total goals in that series, and that was the last time they made the playoffs in the Getzlaf and Perry era. The year after that, Corey Perry got bought out, and then he made 5 Stanley Cup Finals in 6 years. And while he'll forever have the 2007 Stanley Cup, the Stanley Cup final losses for Perry have becoming a bit of a running gag as of now. The second period's about to begin. We're underway. Just Jake Evans wins this face-off. It is Evans, Texier, and Anderson on this third line. Ducks at Habs at the Bell Center as the Ducks trying to expand their lead to 2-0. Canadiens trying to even this one up. Broken stick on the ice. Center pass up front, and Fowler shut that off. The rebound comes out to the Ducks, and here is VL who tried to deflect it on, but Fowler shut it down. More agitation here as the Cutter Gauthier line is on the ice. Him, VL, and Ryan Poehling, a former Montreal Canadian, who's shown in his NHL debut in Game 82, a hat trick and a shootout winner in Bob Cole's final game as a broadcaster. How special is that for Poehling? So VL's off the ice, Terry is in, off the faceoff he controls. Lacombe One-timer, Carlson, he scores! Leo Carlson doubles down! A set play off the face-off for the Anaheim Ducks, and they expand their lead to 2-0. It's a quick face-off win as Terry controls. Lacombe with the quick thinking to Leo Carlson, who immediately blasts a one-timer past Jacob Fowler. It is 2-0 Ducks. And Fowler was unable to pick up that release. 2-0 Ducks here as they score on the second shot of the second period. And Leo Carlson already looking for a natural hat trick. Whoa, and Fowler shut that off. Immediately after scoring, Leo Carlson wanted to get back to work and get a natural hat trick. My goodness. He has 23 goals this season. In his last 12 games, he has 6 goals and 6 assists. We'll be having standby updates from USA versus the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. That game is underway, and Paul Skeens has taken the mound for the United States. The Dominican Republic entering this game only has 3 hits against Skeens on the starting lineup. And only one player has those 3 hits. Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. So we'll be watching that one through. So Trouba drops this one back, as this will be collected by Lacombe, his defensive partner. Sent up ahead, but nowhere to go there as those are sticking away. Mike Matheson and Noah Dobson on the ice. Philip Deneau, acquired by Montreal from the Los Angeles Kings. Dobson, longtime Islander, tries to feed this one up for the middle. Could not, and it's Trouba. Former Jet, former Ranger. This will be held in by Montreal up the near half boards and recollected by Lane Hudson. One-timer, score! It went in and out in a hurry. And Les Canadiens are on the board. It's Alex Newhook. It went across the blue line, but what a shot by Newhook from the top of the right circle. Quick thinking is a good hold by Lane Hudson, and he batted this one out of midair to keep this one, not exactly out of midair, he sailed this one down. Newhook with the shot off the pass, and Hudson got into the wheelhouse. Lacombe went down to block, and Newhook elevated it. It was Newhook who had his deflection that went off. So USA and Dominican Republic is underway. The USA is batting first with Bobby Witt Jr. as the leadoff man. Not something you see often from him. He usually plays at the 2 spot. And Demidov going to work. Dostal covers and holds. So the lineup is as follows for USA. Witt, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Gunnar Henderson, Will Smith, Roman Anthony, Bryce Terang, and Pete Crow Armstrong. Smith replaces Cal Raleigh in the lineup, who has been hitless so far in the World Baseball Classic. And we can talk more about the World Baseball Classic later on, as here's off the faceoff. This is Ryan Poehling who picks it off despite losing the draw. Viel, too far for him, but Gauthier holds. Left circle, Gauthier blocked in front, he gets it back. Here is Poehling. Tried to find someone, but could not as Dobson gets it away. Up the far half boards. This is kicked out. Viel on the hold. Poehling mishandled. Held in at the left point by Zellweger. Here's Viel. Kick save Fowler. Here's Gauthier. On the hold around the boards. Lane Hudson got in the way of Ryan Poehling. Chasing it back is Noah Dobson. Up the far boards. And on the partial break. A shot score! Cole Caulfield! We are level! Two goals in a short span of time as Caulfield went far side on Dostal. And when you have a game against two high-scoring teams, this will be the result that you would normally guess. Caulfield went far side, getting a stretch pass from Noah Dobson. It was partially deflected, but no worries. For goal, Caulfield, the Wisconsin Badger man. His 39th of the season. Team leader in goals. And he adds another. Jacob Fowler places behind him. And this will be recollected by the Habs. Near side, cleared out onto center. Chris Kreider has it up. Off the far boards, the Ducks send this in. Fowler slows it down. Jake Evans tangled up on the release from Leo Carlson. 2-on-2, the Habs come back. They have momentum now. Overskated by Demidov, they'll reset. We are 3 minutes into the second period, and here's Jake Evans looking for the lead here. Demidov, too far for him. Demidov, one-timer, save, rebound free. Comes over to the far corner. Here's Evans. Demidov, left point. Here's Alex Carrier going across the ice. Evans will look back for Carrier on this third pairing. Long shot, shut down by Dostal. He'll cover at the 3:26 mark. And already in this game, we are seeing these goals come in bunches in the early stages of the second period. Already we saw Leo Carlson get 2. Alex Newhook strike back a minute 6 seconds later. The 2 goals were scored exactly 1 minute apart. That's from Montreal, by the way. The cross-ice pass went off the skate of Demidov. And a one-timer was stopped by Dostal. It's a good job by Demidov to keep it alive. We've been looking forward to seeing this sensation play in the NHL, Ivan Demidov. And he's thriving in this Montreal lineup. Many were anticipating whether they would select Matvei Michkov or not. But Demidov has been a ferocious force for the Habs. And we wonder what happens to Patrick Laine and his future with the Canadiens. His time may be running out soon enough. On the recovery is Arbor Chakai to prevent the breakout. Far side, in the Montreal zone, offside are the Ducks because nobody on the Ducks was able to get out on time. And Jensen Harkins is complaining about it. The healthy scratches on the Ducks are Drew Hellison and Ross Johnston. The latter is the tough guy on the team leader in penalty minutes. The healthy scratches for Montreal are Sam Montembeault, Jaden Struble, Zach Boduk, and Joe Volino. Habs win the draw. It's Alex Carrier, the former Nashville Predator. Swing and a miss from Tim Washy. The Ducks will take it back though, but only for a clear. Carrier towards the Ducks bench. Cleared out. Anaheim will restart. Sending this one in. Would have been an offside if they entered it. And Montreal is going back with it. Brendan Gallagher to Josh Anderson. Anderson, the first one there. Gallagher! And Dostal shut him down. A severe angle for Brendan Gallagher. And a very tough decision. Formerly on the second line with the Canadiens. As high as the top line back in the days of Max Pacioretty. But now it's a new era. He's accepted a fourth line grinder role. Standing 5'9", 185 pounds. His frequent line mate being Philip Deneau. The two finding natural chemistry with one another. And is stuck with the Canadiens throughout his entire career. Off this faceoff, Demidov helps out. Here's Matheson with a deep shot. Partially blocked. Demidov on the hole. Demidov will float back. Deflected in front. The Ducks take it back. Demidov will reset. Demidov firing it around. Dostal slowing it down towards the far corner. Sending this one to center ice and gloving it down was Dobson. Anaheim will look back to reset. Zellweger. This pass deflected by Kapanen and he will take it back. Oliver Kapanen will look. Drop pass and weaving through is Matheson. Mike Matheson will look back. Matheson forced backwards by the Ducks. He'll reset as he holds on to by his own bench. Close to backup goaltender Jakob Dobesh. Dostal plays it back. The Canadiens there. Dobson there to try to slow that down, but there's nothing much to it. Beckett Seneca will swing it back, and Zellweger will reset. Zellweger moves it around towards the Ducks bench and shooting it in. And in the way was Francis Chiron. There's a too many men on the ice penalty coming up, I think. No. Almost was against the Canadiens, as Anaheim will reset. Up the far boards, this will be the Ducks in control, looking to take back the lead. Leo Carlson looking for a hat trick. Quick shot, save, rebound! And Fowler got to both. Mike Matheson. Clearing attempt, glove down, and this will be settled down to Cole Caulfield. Up the near side for Juraj Slafkovsky. Ian Moore draws into him. And two of them tangle into each other. The Ducks take it back. Moore and Slafkovsky tangled up right behind the play. And getting stick lifted, I think. Can't get a good number. That was Troy Terry. 1-0 Hudson. Terry cycled it along over to Leo Carlson. Working on Caulfield. Carlson works away from him. Leo Carlson. One-timer back. And it is deflected up high and out of play. And finally, after the goal-scoring craze, we go to break. Leo Carlson. Followed by Alex Newhook. And then Cole Caulfield. All coming in a span of 2 minutes and 6 seconds with those 3 goals. We'll be right back. All right. Top of the first inning. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. So far USA is starting nicely on the board here with and there's the last out as Schwarber was hit by, it was actually Schwarber being hit by a pitch as Judge singled. Schwarber got hit by a pitch, but Gunnar Henderson grounded out to second to bring us to the bottom of the first. And Paul Skeens is on the mound now. He's been dominant against Dominican hitters. So, the Dominican Republic's lineup has Fernando Tatis Jr. at leadoff, Ketel Marte, Juan Soto, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, Junior Caminero, Julio Rodriguez, Austin Wells, and Geraldo Perdomo. Luis Severino is the pitcher. He's already pitched 22 times, throwing 13 strikes. He's one of the pitchers on the Sacramento A's. And I'm calling them Sacramento A's because they'll be playing there until the opening of their ballpark at Las Vegas. John Fisher.
John Fisher, the man so incompetent he didn't even have the foresight to secure the Las Vegas Athletics trademark. The big question is, so is he just gonna call them the Vegas Athletics then? Are they just not gonna say Las Vegas?
Oh, we don't know. We'll see back then. When we look back at this, it's Montreal is on the forecheck going on to the attacking zone. 101 pitting towards the wall on Lacombe was Jake Evans. And towards the near boards, the Ducks take back with this. Offside as there was a stick in the lane to disrupt Leo Carlson. He's looking for a hat trick, but that stick it away disrupted Chris Kreider. And now Cutter Gautier's line is back out there. He is joined by Ryan Poehling and Jeffrey Viel. This is Poehling's 343rd career NHL game. He was the 25th pick in the 2017 NHL draft. It was Prusy on a 4th line checking role on the Penguins and Flyers. Dumped in, Carrier gloved it down to center ice. Mechikov poked on the backhand. Gauthier sent it in. Fowler over to Carrier towards the near side. The Ducks trying to get this one towards the goal, but cannot. As they cannot generate a dangerous chance from towards the near at boards because all sorts of Canadians were all over the place. And this will be fired out of play. Was it deflected? Is the question. I don't think this ever was. I don't think this ever was deflected, unless if we're going to take a further look at this. For the moment, Ian Moore is going to go to the box for delay of game. So Moore flipped it. We're gonna see a better angle. I'm not sure about that penalty. But let's see. It was not deflected. So the Canadiens will go back to the power play as Moore got it from his own defensive zone out of play. No deflection from Josh Anderson's stick. It's a Canadiens power play. Off the face-off, the Ducks will get a shorthanded chance with Ryan Poehling. Moving at the far side with Nick Suzuki opposite him. Poehling fires it. And Fowler got a good eye on that. Lane Hudson will reset for the Habs. A good shorthanded chance for the Ducks early on this Habs power play. That kills off the first 20 seconds of the Moore penalty. Nick Suzuki moves it up for Slafkovsky, and now it's Caulfield. Slafkovsky right around towards the far half boards. Demidov, and this is Demidov back over to Lane Hudson. Back to Demidov, who'll hold. Suzuki couldn't fire this one home. Demidov kept this one alive. Down low and in front. Here's Demidov. Shut down by Dostal. Good recovery by Dostal to make the stop. So it wasn't ever deflected out by Josh Anderson. But this power play has been electric. Even though the Canadiens haven't scored on a man advantage, they've been getting good chances that you'd think that they would strike at any moment. And Ryan Poehling went inside on Nick Suzuki. And Suzuki's stick was in the way of Poehling that altered Poehling's shot trajectory. Now here come the Habs down the near side. Dropping it back. Suzuki leads the charge. He'll take this one in on the drop pass to Cole Caulfield. The Wisconsin man. Back to Lane Hudson. Davidoff to Suzuki. Or Slafkovsky, rather. Lane Hudson. Intercepted by John Carlson. This takes a partial bounce. But all the way to the Montreal zone. The Ducks will change penalty killers. Up the near side. Stretch pass for Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher gets by Jacob Trouba. We'll send it over towards the right circle. Hold against Newhook. To Dobson. Noah Dobson towards the left circle. 30 seconds left. This is centered on down low. Dobson centering pass, and this bounced off of Newhook. Noah Dobson controls again. Going towards the left side. And Newhook shot. Gone the way. Here's a 2-on-1 off the intercept. 2-on-1 shorthanded. Ryan Poehling again. Fires. And Dobson was in the way. Anaheim will go back with this as it takes a bounce. Oliver Kapanen will set up Alex Texier 2-on-2. 7 seconds to go. Texier fires this one wide. This is John Carlson, who will want to get one last clear, and he will. The Ducks with two shorthanded chances on the Habs power play. And you know, that's both a good power play and a good penalty kill at the same time. Here's John Carlson. That pass knocked away off the glove of one of the Habs. John Carlson gets it back. Zellweger moving it to Kreider. He'll get the reception back. Up the far boards, inside out move by Terry. John Carlson with it again. Trying to have Leo Carlson in front, but Jake Evans was there. Evans up the far side. Sailing down through the far side. Zellweger. First one back gets bumped. And it's Carlson who moved this one to Leo Carlson. Leo Carlson with Yuri Slafkovsky in the way, still holding it. Far side, near the Ducks bench. Caden Gooley. Good stick there as the Habs will play this one to the Ducks side. Slafkovsky can't get away from Trouba. And behind the net and to the near corner is Lacombe. The Ducks skate this one out. Killorn. And this is Michael Granlund. Up the far half boards. Give and go to Seneca. That bounced off of Fowler. Slafkovsky holding on to it with patience. Up ahead for Caulfield. Cole Caulfield with patience. He'll still hang on to it. Looking for help. Sending it towards the near corner. Suzuki sending this behind the net. There's a broken stick on the ice. Slafkovsky behind the net. At the trapezoid. Caulfield keeping this one alive. This bounces off the side of the cage. The Ducks will pick it up with 9:40 to go. And they'll send this to neutral ice. Intercepted by the Canadiens as they go back with this. Here's Lane Hudson across the ice. Holding, shooting. Save! Dostal. That is Cole Caulfield looking for his second of the night. Lucas Dostal holding firm as both goaltenders are going tit for tat at it at the net in the second period. We'll return to action in a moment. So we're now at the second inning. Paul Skeens threw a near perfect first inning. He got Tatis to fly out, Marte to pop out, and Soto to ground out. So no strikeouts to speak of, but it's a clean sweep at the first inning for Paul Skeens. So now, so at the top of the second inning, it is Will Smith batting right after Gunnar Henderson grounded out this second. So Smith is at his first at-bat. I'm going to be following along with the World Baseball Classic match between USA and Dominican Republic. The United States coming off a 5-3 win over Canada. I have a lot to say about Mark DeRosa. And I mean a lot.
Please do. Because man, I've been saying it. No matter what the outcome of the WBC is, he should be fired.
Absolutely.
How? How do you pull a Ron Rivera at an international stage? What? You had to have Italy save. Look, no disrespect to Italy, okay? 2 of my guys are playing for Italy, but you had to have Italy save your season? Are you kidding me?
That should not happen. For a team as talented as the United States, that's an embarrassment. Here is Demidov right off the stick with the pass blocked by Minchikov. He was looking for Kapanen. Kapanen off the steal, goes to Demidov immediately. Demidov spins around, trying to send it in front. The pass is blocked. Kapanen reaches in, trying to tuck it in. Dostal covers the right post, and the puck is still loose. It's picked up by Newhook. Newhook tried to pass out in front. Gauthier in the way, feeds Paling. Ryan Paling to Jeffrey Viel. From the left point, they're going to rule this an offside. But honestly, I'll have to say, even though Italy has reached the semifinals for the first time ever, you should not have this happen to you, where you have to rely on the outcome of Italy versus Mexico to save your season. Because the only way in which the United States was out of it is if Mexico wins by scoring 4 or less runs for them. But because Italy won, USA got saved and bailed out hard. Come on, man. And back is Trouba, who gets bumped up the far half, boards the Habs on the keeper. Brendan Gallagher sending this one back to Habs on the control. Alex Carrier. So they called it offside, the referee said, because the last as Canadian was ahead of the puck advancing towards the zone. Vetrano dumps it in. It is Carrier being the first one back to the puck at the trapezoid. Tim Washy in pursuit. Up the far boards. This will be an icing. A word we didn't say a lot here, but it is an icing. It's just sent down the ice. So in this middle period, the Ducks have not really pressured Jacob Fowler. So now, 8:22 left in the second period, as this is won by Zellweger. Off the faceoff, Owen Zellweger looks at the near corner. He is shoved once. He'll send it around. Killorn there, trying to backhand this back to Zellweger, and he does. Sent around back to Killorn. Alex Killorn gets jostled off the puck, but he's back on it. Right point for John Carlson. Killorn again. Zellweger again. Loses an edge. Gallagher picks it up. He'll send this one down. Recollected by Zellweger. He'll restart play. Zellweger walks it in. Over to Seneca. Back at Seneca towards John Carlson. Going down towards the far corner to Granlund. Seneca one more time. Watched by Danault. Stick lifts him. Danault there. And here is Arbor Jack guy trying to clear. John Carlson kept it in for the moment. Montreal has it. Danault had his stick lifted for a brief moment. The Canadiens can't get it out. The Ducks come back with numbers. John Carlson, beautiful feed. But there was a stick there to end that threat. Did not make it all the way to the net. Leo Carlson gets brought down. Oh, the Canadiens got away with one there. Leo Carlson on the keeper. Leo on the left circle. He'll look back and drop it for Jacob Trouba. Holding it the right circle. Shot in front gets blocked. And the Habs will go back the other way. They have a 2-on-1. They hurry towards the right side. Quick shot, score! Oh, Captain Nick Suzuki! A wonderful chance for the Anaheim Ducks to retake the lead thanks to John Carlson and Leo Carlson. Instead, he flopped on his shot. It wasn't a shot block, but it was a 2-on-1 if the Canadiens hurried up the other way, and Nick Suzuki made no mistake going short side under the glove of Lucas Dostal. 3-2 Montreal. A quick shot by Suzuki gets the Canadiens their first lead of this game. And it's the captain who delivers. Up for the middle is too far for Biel. Dobson ties him up. Biel able to soccer this back onto the right side. Short side shot was easily read, but it comes back to the high slot. Blocked in front, loose stick. And the Ducks calling for a penalty. We stay 5-on-5. And the Canadiens come back into the Duck zone. Davidoff fighting Texier. Texier sends it wide. Dostal there to handle it. Oh, it's chipped back towards him with the Ducks intending to have him cover up, but that was too hard of a pass. Cutter Gauthier back with this as he is rushing back onto the Canadian zone. Across the line. Quick shot by VL. Didn't make its way through. And here's Washi going back towards the point. Quick shot. And that was blocked. Here is John Carlson who sent it back. Long shot wasn't there. Backhanded by Washi. And it's shut down by Jacob Fowler. Washi gets it back. Spinorama pass towards the near half boards. It is Jansen Harkins. Poked away. But Washi will be the first one back to it. There's a quick change by the Anaheim Ducks. Wanting to get another chance back. But we stop play with 5:37 left. A goal by Nick Suzuki. Gets the Canadiens up 3-2. Tim Washi at the closest chance to tying this one up at 3. We'll be right back. No score between USA and the Dominican Republic. The hit was from Will Smith, a single. Roman Anthony struck out looking. Bryce Terang grounded into a double play. Luis Severino's pitch count is at 32. Paul Skeens has an ERA of 0.00. Still looking around for the updates. I want to pull this one up because, oh man, this is getting stressful.
Which one is that?
USA, Dominican Republic.
Oh, yeah. Well, we will be up. Goodbye, Junior Caminero.
Oh. And just like that, Dominican Republic is on the board. And for the first time in the WBC, Paul Skeens has given up a run.
Yep.
So that is the first score of this WBC game. Well, shout out to Venezuela, by the way. They pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the World Baseball Classic. They have knocked off the defending champions, Japan. In a match.
My guys, Salvi Perez and Michael Garcia, doing work.
And they'll be going up against Jack Caglianone, Michael Lorenzen, and Italy in the semifinals. So here is Anaheim with the puck. They send it in deep. Lane Hudson on the chase down. Up against Michael Granlund. Pinned back deep at the trapezoid. Puck loose. The Habs pick it up onto the near corner. Cole Caulfield there as it's batted back towards Yuri Slafkovsky, sent across towards the far boards. The Canadiens send this one up towards the middle. Bouncing puck, recollected by the Habs. Or the Ducks, rather. They have some room. Back at Seneca towards the front. Granlund twisting and turning. No room to shoot it. As it's blocked in front, the pass, and the Habs will get this one through. And this is a hand pass. That's a hand pass. The Ducks saw it all the way, and they whistled down for the hand pass from Caden Goalie. Goalie's an aggressive defensive defenseman, and he knows his role well on Marty St. Louis' squad. So St. Louis facing off against Joel Quenneville again. St. Louis was not part of the Tampa Bay Lightning roster when they faced off against the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2015 Stanley Cup Final. The guy that he was traded for, Ryan Callahan, was. 3-2 Canadiens. 4:43 left, second period, as the faceoff's won by Leo Carlson. He's looking for his hat trick. Zellweger centers! The pass wide and blocked up by the Canadiens. The Ducks go back with Troy Terry, recollecting a puck in his own zone. Up the far boards, through center ice at the Canadiens logo. Chris Kreider re-enters with the puck. Waiting with it. Across the ice, Terry can't handle it down. Backhander score! He did handle it down! And Troy Terry, welcome back to Anaheim! His third point of the game is the game-tying goal. He does a great job of getting this handled down. It was inside out. He did handle it down. Top quarter on a low percentage shot. Controlled it on the backhand and fired a backhander for his 14th of the season. Right by through the left defender. That was right in front of him. What a shot for Terry. It was 1-0 after 1. It's a 3-3 tie. Off the faceoff, VL sends it in. Paling trying to go back to him. VL behind the net. He'll back this one out towards the right point. Bouncing puck went above Fowler's net. Jacob Trouba trying to recollect it. Cutter Gauthier there as well. Montreal going back the other way is Ivan Demidov on the chase down, stick lift from Jackson Lacombe. It goes down in front. The Ducks control it from the slot. And they'll go back the other way, 2-on-2. Here is VL on the backhand towards the far corner. Ryan Paling stick lifts Oliver Kapanen. And the Canadiens go back with this. 2-on-2, they hurry instead. Oh my goodness! Jacob Trouba with his signature slam right near the Canadiens bench. Terry from Kreider and Leo Carlson officially. This puck is sent off towards the near boards. Here is Brendan Gallagher, who is pinned by the penalty box doors. Right across for Josh Anderson. Anderson around the boards. Gallagher gets tangled up from the near half boards. Dano trying to send this one back. The Ducks take it back. Flipped on ahead, and Vetrano flips it ahead over to, I believe that is Harkins. It is. Arbor Jack-eye in the way. Vetrano. This one takes a bounce. Pavel Minchikov with the stick lift to keep it in for a brief moment. Dano got in the way. Here is Gallagher. Overskated that puck, and he'll recollect it. Gallagher will take this one back. The Canadiens in the middle of a change, so they cannot sell this one down. And Gallagher will try a third time to send this in. He will. Sent back over to Nick Suzuki. Suzuki fires it. 5-hole save by Dostal. He will cover. Suzuki has smart hockey instincts. Knew that he was going to keep this in. So far, the only home run between USA and Dominican Republic is Junior Caminero. 401 feet to left center field. This game at Lone Depot Park at Miami. Ty Free, Nick Suzuki, Michael Graham with the faceoff dot. Won by Suzuki with help from Slafkovsky. Towards the left side for Caulfield. Fans on the wrister. That's actually Dobson. Caulfield trying to recover. Trying to get away from that. Yes, he will. One-timer Slafkovsky. Dostal took it on his chest. 2:15 left in the second period. And it's chaotic in middle frame. What more will we see here? We see another goal. Alex Killorn got sticked away from that puck. And this will be the Ducks back in their own zone in control. Michael Granlund moving up front. Beckett Seneca going wide on Mike Matheson. Looks for room with 154. Trying to feed it back. Nobody at the right point. Dostal has to pass it all the way out front. It's held down at center ice by Slafkovsky. Has to delay because it would have been offside. And Dostal had it chipped away from him. Zellweger in control though. Owen Zellweger up the far boards. In control of the neutral zone are the Ducks. Fowler plays it to Hudson at the near corner. Alex Newhook plays this one up. Oliver Kapanen. It takes a bounce off of one of the Ducks defenders. Kapanen on the keep. Ivan Demidov around. Towards the right point. Waiting there is Lane Hudson. Going back for Demidov. Demidov dancing around. Goes to the high slot. Demidov. Here he comes. Fires it up high. He records his own rebound. One hustle from Demidov. Going back towards the point. Hudson fakes it. He'll spin and twirl. This one-timer to Demidov was intercepted, and the Ducks will come back with it. Chris Kreider goes up front. No breakout pass to him. Troy Terry. Terry finds Kreider a little too far for him. 46 seconds left. The Ducks will make their presumed final change of the period. This puck takes a bounce, but because it was off a duck, it's not an icing. Pavel Mintyukov mishandled the puck. It's kept in by Evans for a brief moment. 30 seconds left in a foot race. It's Matheson beating out Gauthier. But Matheson tried to reverse it. Gauthier tried to play it in front. Dobson was there. Dobson pulls this one up. Pass glove down at center ice. And hustling back is Texier. Alex Texier. Towards the far boards. 10 seconds left. Here's one last chance for Jake Evans. Moving back is Ryan Paling. Here's a takedown on the trailer. Fans are irate. They want a penalty. 2 seconds. Here's Evans. One last shot. In front. Texier. They're going to wave it off. The green light was on. This is not a goal. This is not going to count. The green light was on as the puck crossed the goal line. The clock shows 000. It's no goal. Well, the shot, Texier was celebrating. He thinks he beat the buzzer, but we'll see when the puck crossed the goal line, it did not. It was clear that it was 0.0, and Texier shot it after the green light was on. It's not a goal, so that is the end of the second period, as he got the shot off right as got the shot off after the green light went on. I mean, half a second right after the green light was on. It's not a goal. And I'm surprised nobody on the Ducks took exception to that, because you can't shoot at the goaltender after the whistle. That's one of the unwritten rules of hockey. But nonetheless, it's a free tie after 2 periods of play. At the beginning of this period was pure chaos. 3 goals in 2 minutes and 6 seconds. And the Canadiens have once again scored 3 goals in between 2 Ducks goals. As now top of the third, 1 out, runner at first is Bobby Witt Jr. So we're keeping a lookout at this. But now we have a double for Bryce Harper, and Bobby heads to third. Aaron Judge now at the plate, and we're waiting for him to do the thing, Ian. I wonder if it's gonna be one of those signature moments like what he did against Louis Varlin in the MLB postseason Game 3. Gonna be turning in now to this game. Oh, so Bobby Wood Jr. at third, Bryce Harper at second, Luis Severino is closing in on 50 pitches. Of course, I do have a lot of things to say about Mark DeRosa, as this will be picked up. Actually, it's going to be called a foul ball, and I'll have to say, I don't care if USA wins the World Baseball Classic, Ian. You cannot retain Mark DeRosa after this year. Because what he did in the middle of the group stage is a fireable offense. You look at USA Basketball and USA Hockey, they have established head coaches that have built reputations with their respective teams. Steve Kerr won 4 NBA championships as the Warriors head coach. Mike Sullivan won back-to-back Stanley Cups as the Penguins head coach. You have to have an experienced manager as your next hire for USA. Not some analyst. Not some analyst on MLB Network to do the job as the manager here. Well, I can name a lot of better options than Mark DeRosa on USA Baseball. Now I'd be pitching in AJ Hinch, Dave Roberts. Point is, they're infinitely better options. Or maybe even bring Bruce Bochy out of retirement, for that matter, if that helps. All right, ball 3. It's a full count for Aaron Judge. Oh, a lot of juice, and the Dominican Republic could think about pulling Severino out if Judge homers here. What I've yet to see is ball 3. So it's a full count for Judge. Oh, got him swinging. And Judge is going to sit down. So Severino is dealing it here. And we have Team USA captain Hillary Knight at the red carpet at the Oscars. Oh man, that's got to be tough for Judge. So now, with USA seeing Judge out and sitting at the dugout, it's a Mao meeting for the Dominican Republic. Now, Kyle Schwarber at the plate. Gregory Soto is warming up at the bullpen for the Dominican Republic. Oh man. I do want to mention about the recent NASCAR races. Ryan Blaney picked up the win last week at Phoenix Raceway. And for his first win of the season at the track in which he won to advance to the championship for last year, Denny Hamlin wins at Las Vegas. It's Toyota domination as it's Joe Gibbs' teammate Christopher Bell won the pole. And Hamlin was a close second behind him in the qualifying. Chase Elliott climbed up 13 positions to finish runner-up to Hamlin, and to fill out the rest of the podium is William Byron. To round out the top 10 are Bell, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, and Brad Keselowski. Tyler Reddick is still in the championship lead, ahead of Bubba Wallace by 61 points. But Bubba's picking up steam. It's clear that the two 23-11 teammates are the most consistent this year. Schwarber was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. 2-1 count as Severino is still dealing. 2-1. And Schwarber fouls this one. He's down to his last strike. USA trailing 1-0, top of the third inning. To the Dominican Republic, the only home run came from Junior Caminero. 2-2 count on Schwarber. Dominicans on their feet here. It's a mixed crowd here. A lot of Americans, a lot of Dominicans. The 2-2. Caught him looking! How about Luis Severino? Judge and Schwarber, two of the best home run hitters in the Major League Baseball, struck out by Luis Severino, and in the World Baseball Classic, anything can happen.
Oh my lord. You got Bobby Witt Jr. on third, and neither Judge nor Schwarber could get him home.
Oh man.
Really?
I have a lot of words to say about Mark DeRosa, and not one of them is positive. Get this man off of USA Baseball now.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. I don't care if an MLB team has to have somebody take over the managerial duties on an interim basis. I'd rather have Dave Roberts or AJ Hinch managing USA. That says a lot. Hell, I'd rather have Bruce Bochy out of retirement managing USA Baseball.
Yeah.
Ugh. This is such frustration. I'll have to say though, I want to give a special shout out to Italy on their first ever advancement to the semifinals in the World Baseball Classic. Who expected them here? I'll have to say, as someone who's going to Italy in 2 months, I'll have to pay my respects to them for the work that they have done here on this magical run. And a special shout out to the entire group for going this far. We never imagined this, but here we are. In the World Baseball Classic, they knocked off Puerto Rico 8-6. Vinny Pasquantino, Dominic Canzone, Jack Caglianone, they all did the job done. And Pasquantino has been special for Italy.
Yeah, I'm hoping that carries to the MLB regular season.
It'd be a confidence booster for the Kansas City Royals in the hopes of going back to the postseason.
Yes.
I'll have to say that a wild card could be in the looks, because I'll have to say the Guardians are always that pesky team that's somehow just never out of it no matter what circumstance. And Austin Wells is having a lot more fun with the Dominican Republic than he is with the Yankees. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess who is managing the Dominican Republic? A familiar friend in St. Louis and Anaheim, Albert Pujols.
Yep.
He's enjoying retirement and now being the lead manager for the Dominican Republic. There were some rumors that he was in the running for the Angels managerial job, and while we laugh for a bit, one team's trash is a nation's treasure. I have to say that. Raul Perdomo, bottom of the third. He's going to bunt. Well, it's on the right line for strike 2. And honestly, if you're going to bunt, why not do it when you have runners on bases? Not when you have an empty bases situation.
I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps he thought he saw something.
Probably did. 0-2. He swung and missed up high. So still bottom of the third. 1 out. Paul Skeens is still dealing it. And here is the 0-2. Too high there. And that's a 1-2 count. So Perdomo, the shortstop for the Arizona Diamondbacks, reunited with his second baseman, Ketel Marte. And here is going to be the 1-2 for Perdomo. Oh, did that hit him? Yes, it did. Ooh, it stung. That was not pretty. Ooh. I hope Perdomo's all right, but come on. Did you really have to hit him right on the ankle of all places? That's not a padded area. But Perdomo's on. And now coming up for the Dominicans is Tatis for his second at-bat. The emotional leader of the San Diego Padres. The right bat for here the Dominican Republic. He flew out in the first inning. To see what he does here in the third. He did not swing there. 98 miles an hour. He did not like what he saw. So, both the Ducks and the Canadiens are on the second half of a back-to-back. Both teams lost yesterday. Anaheim to Ottawa. And did Tatis go there? No. Safe. The umpires ruled. And Montreal lost yesterday to the San Jose Sharks. And a scary scene last night in which a dangerous hit concussed Igor Chernyshov, taken out on the opening shift. He is still with the Sharks on their current road trip. So that's good news for the Sharks. He was ruled out of their game against Ottawa because of said concussion. Oh. 3-0 count for Tatis. Vlad Guerrero Jr. having his best life right now. Despite losing the World Series with the Toronto Blue Jays, he's been a hero for his home country. They welcome him back after taking the Dodgers to 7 games. It would have been a much better feeling had the Blue Jays finished the job. They were one, I say, kind of a left slide away from achieving that. Leading with the foot, or diving head first rather. 3-1 count as the first pickoff is unsuccessful on Perdomo. The 3-1 pitch. And Tatis bounces one. This could turn 2. One gone. The second one not in time. Replace Perdomo with Tatis. It is a fielder's choice. Tatis at first. Perdomo's out. So we're going to monitor the World Baseball Classic as we go on here. We're going to be watching this one separately. We're going to be watching this one separately, but the rest of the way. But Tatis got through in tie. Skeen's still dealing. 2 gone here in the third inning. And it's Ketel Marte, Perdomo's teammate with Arizona. Ooh. Smith thought about throwing it, decided not to. So we're coming back soon enough here in Anaheim. And it's a very curious decision. I get that Cal Raleigh has been noticeably struggling in the World Baseball Classic. But to somehow for Will Smith, oh boy. And Marte swings this one towards the right side. Tatis on his way to third. He's going to stop there. On the throw there. He's out. What a throw by Aaron Judge. Oh, Yankees fans have to be happy about that one. All right, so now it is Lane Hudson fighting Alex Newhook as we're going back for the second period highlights. It was a 1-0 Ducks lead that turned into a 3-3 tie. The pass from Dobson to Cole Caulfield spanned approximately 90 feet in ice distance. Well, Noah Dobson and Cole Caulfield have been on the same page throughout the night. So have Yuri Slafkovsky and Nick Suzuki. We know how top-heavy the Canadiens are. And we have yet to see the true ceiling of how the Canadiens can go. But we'll see if Jacob Fowler is the solution in net. Which, all things considered, given the trend of Canadiens goaltenders and how they fare against in their first career starts, normally it leads to success. So Patrick Waugh saw it with Carey Price. Could be seeing it with Jacob Fowler. And John Carlson, in his first career game with the Ducks, has 14:58 of ice time through 2 periods. I do love the throw from Aaron Judge to get Tatis out of third, Ian. Woo. So, we're coming back here to begin this third period. And there is John Carlson out on the ice to begin the third period next to his partner Olen Zellweger. The Cutter Gauthier line is out there to begin this third period. Him, Ryan Poehling, and Jeffrey Biel. The siren sounds. And we're getting ready to begin. Texier's out there to begin it. Let's go. Tied at 3. After 2 periods, we are beginning period number 3. Sent back in deep. It is Dostal who controlled this out for John Carlson. Moved ahead for Poehling. Poehling goes back over to Zellweger. Poehling goes off the ice for his first change. Back deep is Montreal trying to get out of their own zone, in which they will. Texier feeds it over on the outlet pass to Jake Evans. Evans fires, and Dostal covers up easily. That was 30 seconds in. And the goal here is that you want to limit shift times to about 40 seconds maximum for players. So the Ducks will travel back to Anaheim after this game. With 30 seconds gone, and immediately Marty St. Louis has gone to Suzuki line out there. Slafkovsky on the left, Caulfield on the right. It's Suzuki winning the faceoff. In control, Mike Matheson gets it around. Jacob Trouba first to collect it. Trouba, watched by Suzuki and Caulfield, both at the near corner. Caulfield got in the way. This one poked away from Trouba. Slafkovsky, the first one to the puck at the far half boards. Battling through 2 Ducks. Swinging a miss from Suzuki, and he'll have to retreat towards the near side. Granlund, right around the boards. First one to recover was Anaheim. Shot went wide. It's Trouba back with it. Trouba's deep shot, deflection wide. Granlund could not pick it up. Seneca could. Beckett Seneca, right around in front. Going towards the right point. Throws one in from deep. That one went wide. Lacombe tried to hold. Caulfield got it away from him for the moment. Granlund pinned by Matheson. Dobson joining the pin here on this puck battle. Killorn went down. Slafkovsky there to scoop it up. He'll play this one up through the ice. Down the middle. Towards the left side. Here's Cole Caulfield. Going in. Backhander. Shut down by Dostal. The feed out front. Nobody at the swat. Granlund. Oh, and losing an edge was one of the Ducks. And that will consequently lead to an icing. That looked to be Alex Killorn who is going back. Beckett Seneca was the third man in, and Nick Suzuki tried to cash in on this. Now, it's not Cole Caulfield. It's Suzuki moving in with a break from the near side down the left circle. The Newhook line is out there with Kapanen and Demonov. Newhook wins the faceoff. It goes back for Lane Hudson. From in deep, Blocked into swat. U-hook on the pickup. Goes to Gooley. Seneca's on him. Gooley lost it. But here's the turnover and the swat. Lane Hudson surveys. Going inside out. Could not get by Trouba. Hudson trying to go back. Turned over. Trouba finding Seneca. Seneca dances around U-hook. He'll take it in. Another dance. Seneca! Oh my! He is stopped by Jacob Fowler, who shut down a brilliant solo effort from Beckett Seneca. Oh my goodness. As he go back for Lane Hudson. Oliver Kapanen will dump it in and make his change. Fresh bodies on the ice for the Ducks. It is Troy Terry's line out there. Leo Carlson on hat trick watch. Whistle here. There's a penalty on the ice.
And Gunnar Henderson just hit a 400-foot tank.
There it goes. See ya. And to quote Michael K. Oh, Beckett Seneca is a special talent. Inside out move on Philip Deneau, one of the best defensive centers in the NHL. He went inside out through two defenders. The penalties on Deneau for holding in Seneca, right as Cutter Gauthier. But Seneca had one of the greatest solo efforts early in this young third period. The power play for Anaheim has not been stellar. Both Montreal and Anaheim are in the same boat where they stand penalty killing wise, which is hovering around 80%. The Ducks power play 24th. Here's John Carlson, the new power play quarterback number 1. John Carlson to Leo Carlson. Going around, Chris Kreider. Leo Carlson to John Carlson. Leo to John. Towards the top of the left circle, he goes down low. John has it. Going back for Leo. Leo going down low. Here is Kreider. He'll survey. Goes back for Leo. Leo to Kreider. Kreider continues to survey. Leo. Bunch of tic-tac-toe passing. Cycling around. It is Terry. Who'll cycle back for John. John Carlson surveying. He'll tee one up. Fired wide. Kreider kept this one alive. Goes to Terry. Troy Terry serving around for the right circle. Kreider in front. Terry holds, fires, saved by Fowler. He'll get back his own rebound. The Habs are dead tired on the PK. As it's over a minute on this power play and the same 5 guys are on the ice. Terry finding Leo. Kreider going down was Lane Hudson, and Kreider wanted to go far post. Drop pass intercepted, and the Habs may have a break. Not anymore. The Canadiens will go for their change. 40 seconds left on this power play, and Seneca will get on the ice. So Lacombe, Granlund, Gauthier, and Killorn. Beckett Seneca leads the way. Up the far side is Granlund. Granlund, Killorn, they both get cut off. That's blocked, and Josh Anderson will send this one down. Fans on their feet. As the penalty time is winding down for Philip Deneau. Good thing that they're killing off this penalty in the absence of Deneau because he's one of the league's better penalty killers. Stick lift on the way. Here comes the short-handed chase by Josh Anderson. Gets bumped off the puck by Seneca. And the fans don't like that. But nonetheless, that'll run down the rest of the penalty. And now the penalty is assessed. A very late whistle. And it'll be Seneca. Oh my goodness. How late of a whistle was that? Josh Anderson gets bumped off the puck by Seneca. And that's gonna be called as tripping. And it's gonna be embellishment as well on Seneca. So we're gonna have 4-on-4. Anderson for roughing, Seneca for embellishment. And fans don't like that, but they wanted a penalty on Seneca. I thought that was the penalty, but no. It was for the embellishment / roughing. Ryan Paling and Cutter Gauthier, the 2 forwards, Jackson Lacombe and John Carlson, the defenseman, is holding on Anderson, Seneca embellishment. Paling's taking the draw, wins it. Away from Nick Suzuki. Expanded ice here 4-on-4. The Ducks will be in control. John Carlson drops back. And moving up is Jackson Lacombe taking it himself. Lacombe stick lifted. Fowler got a hold of that, and Lacombe will reset back with this puck. John Carlson sends it up ahead, and it's dropped back from Paling to Lacombe. 5 minutes gone here in this third period. And here's John Carlson with it, moving up front for Paling. Paling going on the outside of Dobson. Cycled around towards the right point. Nobody there. Now come all the way back to the Anaheim trapezoid where it's Jacob Trouba. He anticipated John Carlson to be there. Instead, he went off for his change. Olen Zellweger with this puck towards the near side. That's actually Michael Granlund. Granlund's centering pass went to the right circle. Near mishandle, and the Canadiens will have the first touch of this 4-on-4. Davidov receiving the feed from Evans. Going back for Evans. Evans fires. Stopped by Dostal. And going back is Leo Carlson looking for the hat trick. Carlson goes back the far side. Anaheim looking to get back the lead. Pavel Minchukov with it. Minchukov for the far half boards. John Carlson. A hold. One-timer. Granlund missed it badly there. 35 seconds left of 4-on-4. Recollected by the Ducks. And John Carlson will get this back with him. Taking his time with this. And moving up front for Troy Terry. Stick lifted once, but able to hold it. Terry fires. Stopped by Fowler. 20 seconds left of 4-on-4. Montreal picks it up again from the near side. Newhook over to Slavkovsky. 8 seconds left. Slavkovsky retreats. Going back for Gouley. Caden Gouley. And this will run out the rest of the 4-on-4. Both men are back out of the box. Seneca and Anderson. Lane Hudson carries it in. Hudson drop pass. One-timer. And that was held up nicely. Blocked in front. Seneca will move ahead. Back at Seneca towards the far side. Seneca look to pass up front to the slot. And there's a dangerous shot in tight. Fowler shut it down. Ian Moore will reset. Moore moving up front. It is Jansen Harkins with one move. He went down. His pass went towards the near corner. Tim Washi. Tight shot. Rebound. Fowler did not give it up. He is able to cover up. Everybody was going up at the top of the blue paint. And a skirmish ensues afterwards. 12:52 left in this third period. Tied at 3-3. And we have another home run. Am I right, Ian? Roman Anthony. Yeah, we're up to break now. Roman Anthony follows up Gunnar Henderson's tank. And Anthony unloads one 421 to center field. That is as good as gone.
Yep. And Roman Anthony hit a tank. U.S. is up 2-1 on the Dominican.
All right. That so far, so good. So 6 hits for the Americans, just two for the Dominican Republic. So, oh man. I can't stress enough how stressful it is for Miami of Ohio, the selection process, because one loss in the MAC tournament should not take away from a perfect regular season. Because if one team goes undefeated in a regular season and does not make it to March Madness, what's the point of playing a regular season? You play what's in your schedule.
Say what, Alex? Or Alec?
So I want to say that the selection process for Miami of Ohio should not have been as stressful as it was. Because if you go 31-0 in the regular season, lose the first game of your MAC tournament, and you don't make it in, what's the point of a regular season? You can only play who's in front of you.
Right. But they did make it in.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. and people talking about Auburn. Auburn had a lot of chances to get quad one wins and flopped on a lot of them.
Yeah.
Point is simple. The bracketologists saw the regular season that Miami, Ohio performed at, and they gave them the benefit of the doubt. And they should be in. They deserve it. Here come the Canadiens. Free, third period. At the far corner, here is the control here. The quick shot. Turned down by Dostal, who will cover it with his glove. That was Nick Suzuki, who quickly rushed in to get that shot away. Suzuki, a Canadian Olympian this year. He scored the game-tying goal against Czechia with around 3 minutes to go. We can expect him back for the World Cup of Hockey. We can anticipate Matthew Schaefer being in the mix on the defensive side. You can say Evan Bouchard, who I'll admit, he is a Norris contender this year. And he should be in that conversation. His defensive play has improved a lot ever since his Olympic snubbing. Up the far side, the Ducks pick it up back again. We're approaching 8 minutes gone here in the third period. 12-18 left. No goals here in the third to speak of, but we are even up 3-3. Cole Caulfield, Alex Newhook, Nick Suzuki, the Canadiens goals. Leo Carlson and Troy Terry, the Ducks goals. Carlson with 2 of those 3. Anaheim moving it up the far side. 8 minutes gone. Take a foul ourselves it down. Shots 25-23 Montreal. Caden Gooley advances up ahead. Making a stretch pass over towards the far side. It was not touched. It's icing. It's a hard outlet pass. 11:50 left in the third period. So, still at the top of the fourth inning. And we'll have to see who is on the mound. So it was Gregory Soto who did not make it out of the fourth inning. And it's 2-1 USA. The Ducks have it on the right circle. Troy Terry drops back. Nobody there. Picked up by Lou Carlson. He got stick lifted. Excellent job by Philip Deneau to deny Carlson the hat trick. And here's Deneau himself. Flips it to himself. Shut down by Zellweger. And cleared out by Anaheim. Rolling back all the way to Montreal Sen at the top of the circles. Moving it back over to the near side. Josh Anderson. Anderson pinned by Ian Moore. Pavel Mintyukov. Turnover there. Right behind net. And falling down was Gallagher. Puck loose. Comes to Dostal. Oh, cover it with his glove. That was chaotic on this fourth line side by Anderson and Deneau. The chaos ensuing down low in front of the net. 11:08 remaining in the third period with Pavel Mintyukov giving the puck away. Many of these players are on their current shift right now, save for Cutter Gauthier, who just got out onto the ice. Ryan Poehling to take the face-off, and we have Gauthier, your leading goal scorer, on the third line. Shows the embarrassment of riches that you have goal-scoring-wise. Even with Mason McTavish being out for tonight's game. Wayne Hudson, deep one-timer, blocked, and a rebound blocked too. Got one off the leg of who I believe was Gauthier. 10:53 to go here in the third period, and advancing it has Demidov. Demidov trying to go inside out, drop pass, one shot, and that's stopped by Dostal. Oh, that is terrific stuff from Ivan Demidov. The creativity he can provide. 10:35 left in this third period. Here's a stretch pass, and way offside was the former Av Alex Newhook, and he took a shot at Dostal. Predictably, Alex Killorn took exception to it. The linesmen jump in to separate the two. I'll have to say, whenever you take a shot after the whistle sounds, that's going to draw a response. Oh, what a terrific pass. Terrific move from Demidov to find Kapanen on the drop pass. And there was a discussion about Oliver Kapanen being part of Team Finland. He is the cousin of Kasperi Kapanen, who scored a golden goal for Finland in the World Juniors. Kapanen from Timrå, Sweden, but he represents Finland. Kasperi's father, Sammy, once played for the Carolina Hurricanes 2002 team. Deep shot, didn't make it all the way through for Anaheim. And here comes the Ducks with Jackson Lacombe driving in. Puck loose, backhander. Couldn't get his way past Fowler. And falling down was Noah Dobson. Penalty coming up against the Ducks. This will be a tripping penalty against Anaheim, and Fowler's headed to the bench. Extra attacker is going to come out. Alex Texier, centering pass, knocked away. As it's touched up by Trouba, it'll be a Montreal power play with 10:09 to go. The call from Frederic Lecuyer. The play by Jackson Lacombe. Had the puck bounce off of his stick. Oh, I don't think anybody got tripped. Unless if Michael Gramler reached his stick out. That's a borderline call. But hindsight is 2020. Joel Quenneville is not happy about it. I didn't see a trip. The Canadians have one of the best. The Canadians have one of the best power plays in the league, but they're 0 for 3 tonight, with 5 shots, paling the former Canadian for the Ducks penalty kill alongside Killorn, Trouba, and Minchikov. The same 5-man unit for the Habs is out there to start off: Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Caulfield, Demidov, and Hudson. That's their best 5 that they have there. Face off is 1, and here's Hudson. Lane Hudson to Ivan Demidov. Set up back for Hudson. Demidov makes the one-timer. This pass went off of Minchikov, set down by Slavkovsky, trying to go back for Slavkovsky with Suzuki, but it's now picked up by Ryan Poehling. Had the time and space to send this down the ice, and he did. Lane Hudson will set this one up. Skating up front with it. He'll take it himself. He'll wait now and drop back for Demidov. Ivan Demidov drops out for Slavkovsky, who will try to make the return feed. Suzuki recollects. Caulfield. That went wide of Demidov. Rushing to it is Slavkovsky. Going around. This takes a bounce up front. Whacked away at it by Anaheim. And this will go all the way back to the zone. Jacob Trouba is going to get off the ice now as Lane Hudson will set up. Going towards the middle. Hudson drops it all the way back. And this will be Suzuki setting up for Demidov. Up onto the far side. Olin Zellweger sends this down the boards. The second unit will come up now for the Habs. 50 seconds left as Jacob Fowler will set things up. And Noah Dobson, quarterback in the second power play, dropping it for Alex Newhook. He'll drop it. And here's Texier. Wants to go back for Dobson, but cannot now. He'll instead go down low. He'll get the return feed back. Dobson, mishandled, but it's held inside the blue line. Rescued by Gallagher. Kapanen there on the backhand to the near corner, going back for Gallagher. Dobson, shot pass. Here's Texier, looking for deflection. Nothing there. 15 seconds left on the man advantage. Dobson will reset. Resetting back up for Texier. Alex Texier tries to drop back. Washy in the way there. Anaheim looking to clear. Get some help. And that should run out the penalty against Granlund. And Montreal is 0 for 4 on the man advantage. Uncharacteristic of them. Jacob Trouba picks it up. Here's Trouba. Try to curl and drag. Too many Canadians on the way there. And a burst of speed here for Jake Evans. Evans to the swat. He fires. Oh, man. Superhuman effort by Jacob Trouba to make sure that doesn't go through. Up the far boards. The Canadians get knocked off their feet. Jake Evans shoved off the puck, but that allows Philip Deneau to scoop it back up. Evans wants to go back and does for Alex Carrier. Evans surveys around. Evans goes back for Carrier. Oh, did he keep that in? One-timer saved by Dosal. Rebound still free. And the puck is gloved down at the right point by Matheson. Anaheim trying to get it out, and this is out. So it will not matter. Philip Deneau on the re-entry, going to Evans. Blowing a tire, think it's Lane Hudson. And the Ducks will go back with this. Up the middle is Leo Carlson on a hat-trick watch. Carlson from Lacombe. Off his stick, Anaheim will reset and regroup. Jackson Lacombe, his pass too far, more Michael Granlund. Caden Goulet's the first one back. He takes a bump. And the Ducks will get this one around for Seneca. Seneca tried to drop it. Caulfield in the way. From the near corner, Ian Moore out there on the ice. 6:36 left in this first period. Moore on the handle. Going to Lacombe. Not the usual defensive pairing as Suzuki got a block there. Puck is gloved down by Caulfield. Caulfield trying to swipe away at it. Killorn was the first one back. Montreal trying to break this deadlock. Anaheim as well. They have the puck right now. The Ducks. And moving it up is Ian Moore at the tail end of his shift. The Canadiens bring it back as they recollect for their own zone. 3-on-2 should they hurry. Goalie will drop back for Kapanen. Return feed goalie. Pass too far for him. The Ducks will reset. On the near side by the penalty box doors is Mintyukov. Zellweger rather. Cutter Gauthier goes back with the puck. Oliver Kapanen clears it out. Owen Zellweger on the recovery for Anaheim. Puck takes a bounce. The Habs on the way back. It is Alex Newhook. 1-0 Cutter Gauthier is flipped on down low from the far boards. Mintyukov. Tries to wheel him back. The Habs all over defensively. Mintyukov on the keep. Too many Habs there as it takes a further bounce. The Ducks still trying to clear, in which they do. They get into the Montreal zone onto the left circle. A shot there, turned away by Fowler. Oh my goodness, crashing right onto the boards was Jansen Harkins as he was hard on Jacob Fowler. 5:09 to go here in this first period. Jake Evans surveys on the near half boards. We'll go back onto the point for Matheson. Matheson gets turned away, and here comes Leo Carlson. Leo Carlson for the lead. Too far for there, and the pass back. Glove save, Jacob Fowler. He robs Jansen Harkins. Leo Carlson with a beautiful setup to Jansen Harkins, and Fowler says no. We'll go to break here, but how about Jacob Fowler? This kid's amazing. So I assume there is a new pitcher for the Dominican Republic. But he is not on the mound right now. Paul Skeens is still dealing. Bottom of the fourth, 2 outs, and there are runners at the corners for the Dominicans. Vladdy is at third. Cavanero at first. J-Rod at the plate. And on deck is Austin Wells, living his best life with the Dominicans. Strange to think that entering today, J-Rod had the only 3 hits career-wise against Paul Skeens. Oh, man. So that throw from Aaron Judge was clocked in at 96 miles an hour to get Fernando Tatis Jr. out at third. So if anyone says that Judge can't make plays when it matters, show them this clip. Show them the clip of this homer off of Louis Varlin. Show them the homer they had at Game 3 of the ALCS. And a lot more. And you can't say that Judge disappeared in the playoffs last year because he was the main factor for the Yankees last year. And here he chimed in defensively. He's known for his home runs, but he's an underrated defender. Leo Carlson taking a face-off to Jacob Fowler's right, won by the Canadiens. Swing and a miss from Jackson Lacombe. Lucas Dostal plays it back for Jacob Trouba. 4:45 left. Glove down by Montreal, but it's played out by Anaheim. Off the near boards by Kreider. Chris Kreider going after it. Alex Carrier there. Lane Hudson takes it up towards Yuri Slafkovsky. 3-on-2 as they move back. Slafkovsky falling down to Zellweger. Or rather, that is Carlson. And moving up with speed is Leo Carlson. Firing glove save. Fowler again. That's 2 in a row in which Ducks shooters have went glove side on Fowler. And the young netminder said no to both. Jacob Trouba fell down, but it was a good play to find Troy Terry as he was falling down. Here's another great play by Troy Terry to find the open Leo Carlson. And as Fowler went down to the horse's right, he saw Leo Carlson cut in onto the left circle. Jake Evans is centering Josh Anderson and Alex Texier, but they have moved Philip Deneau onto the wing. They moved Philip Deneau and Jake Evans right next to each other on this bird line, giving Deneau some more shutdown minutes. Puck went out of play with 4:15 onto the benches. And now the bases are loaded with J-Rod getting onto the base. Not to say, Paul Skeens has to get out of this one. What stuff does he have here? Off the faceoff, Jake Evans wins it. Ducks can't clear this one. They can't get this one through. And this is Caden Goulet off the boards. Down deep. 4 minutes left in the third period. We'll wait for one of these teams breaking the score even. The Ducks played us ahead. Onto the trapezoid. Noah Dobson's tied up. Onto the far half boards. Jake Evans, Brendan Gallagher both there. Dobson on the tie-up tries to work it out. And Granlund tried to get it down low but could not. It is Gallagher up the near boards. Puck deflected off the stick of Granlund. And going back for Dostal. 3:30 left is Ian Moore on the third pairing in place of Drew Hellison. As Cutter Gauthier goes towards the outside of Kapanen. Sticked away. Nice job by Newhook. Jackson Lacombe sets up his man Ian Moore. As this pass takes a bounce. Intended for VL. Jacob Fowler will see this one go in off Mike Matheson, who is battling at the near corner. 3:05 left in the third period. As Anaheim trying to break the deadlock. It is Ryan Paling setting one up in front. And it went off a stick. Ivan Demidov right off the far boards. Going to Trouba. As Anaheim goes back with Gauthier. Cutter Gauthier has been out there for 45 seconds. Right into the zone as Lane Hudson can't get this out. The Ducks keep it right around through the corners. 2:35 and shaking off his groove is Goulet. As this is Gauthier out in front. Score! Cutter Gauthier!
Paul Skeens got out of the bases loaded jam, by the way.
Well, some good news for USA. Good news for Anaheim. The Ducks get off several precarious spots. And they take the lead here late in the third period. With 2:30 left, Gauthier goes 5-hole on Jacob Fowler. As Caden Goulet loses his edge. The Ducks work this out the corner. Jeffrey Viel out-bustling Goulet towards this puck. And once down 3-2, they are now up 4-3. USA's on to the fifth inning with Harper, Judge, and Schwarber up. 2:30 left. We'll see if Montreal can tie this. We'll keep an eye out on Jacob Fowler. Puck goes out of play with 2:26 left. We'll step aside here. Shots 28 apiece. So, Ducks fans, exhale for the moment. We'll be coming back in just one moment for the ending of regulation. So it's all home runs between USA and the Dominican Republic. Junior Caminero, Gunnar Henderson, and Roman Anthony. the last one to take the lead for the Stars and Stripes. So finally, after 17 minutes and 30 seconds of third period action, we have our first third period goal. Gauthier from Viel and Paling. Now, last time we saw both of these two teams, it was a thriller between the Ducks and Canadiens at the Honda Center. The Ducks scored in the first minute of the third period. They scored in the final minute of the third period. All of that was in between 3 straight Canadiens goals. 2 of them come from Cole Caulfield. Anaheim won the shootout thanks to Gauthier and Alex Killorn. Oh, they labeled McTavish a healthy scratch. Slow skater. Bad defensively. Flashes but a lot of work to do to become a steady top 6 center, even if his production has been going well. So Joel Quenneville has labeled McTavish as a healthy scratch, which was unexpected, which I did not expect to say the least. But Jay Fresh has his projected wins above replacement rate at just 9%. And this will be Montreal outside of the Anaheim zone to take the faceoff. It is Paling, Washi, and Harkins out there for defensive purposes. The Ducks are 27-5-0 when scoring at least 4 goals this season. Cole Caulfield sends it in deep. On the foot race, Michikov and Slafkovsky both there. They're waiting for Jacob Fowler to go towards the net, but that's it. Montreal can get a clear touch at the puck. Anaheim will get this one out. And they're going back the other way. Fowler has to reset a win. Washi from the high swap throws it wide, and this bounces up. So Fowler now waiting for his time to come out of the crease, and it's sent in deep by Suzuki. And now Fowler's onto the bench. 6 attackers out for Montreal. Here's Slafkovsky, intercepted, and this one went off the post! Oh my goodness, that was close to a tie hockey game. Just seconds after Montreal just pulled Jacob Fowler. Chris Kreider remembers what it feels like scoring a goal just mere seconds after a goaltender is pulled. He did that for the New York Rangers in 2015 in Game 5 against the Washington Capitals. 123 as this puck comes out to the neutral zone. All the way back is Leo Carlson looking for the hat trick. Hit the side of the cage. And this comes back to Chris Kreider, who sent this one wide and off a leg. Montreal still alive here. Very close call, but they're still alive. And, oh my goodness, another goal post. This time it's Chris Kreider. Here comes the 4th try. And this one hit a body in front. The Canadiens are trapped. A 5th try, another goal post. How many goal posts can the Ducks hit going to the empty net? 49 seconds. The Canadiens are still alive here. 45 seconds they send it in. John Carlson from the far corner. This one gloved down and it's cleared out all the way to Montreal's end. Anaheim will get fresh bodies on the ice. 30 seconds. The Habs have their timeout if we do get a stoppage. Slafkovsky playing this one out to Suzuki. Nick Suzuki onto the high swap. Back to Suzuki. Holding over to Dobson. Suzuki one-timer. Rebound in front. Those toes down. The puck free. Where is it? It's underneath somebody. 10 seconds and it's covered by the Stahl. How in the world do the Ducks hit 3 goalposts at the empty net? Slafkovsky had a crack at the goal to tie this game up to force overtime. Cole Caulfield also there was mayhem at the crease. All sorts of traffic there at the bottom with Suzuki initiated it with the one-timer. Slafkovsky wanted to poke it right across Dostal, and Dostal wouldn't budge. Marty St. Louis is going to take his time out. He's going to get the dry erase board out. He's going to have the same 6 group of guys out there for the offense's own face-off. Suzuki, Caulfield, Demidov, Slafkovsky, Hudson, and Dobson. Those are the 6 on the ice for Montreal. And to counter it is Gauthier, Washi, Mintyukov. Gauthier is going to get subbed out for Killorn. Granlund has played 25 seconds of his shift time. Joel Quenneville instructing his Ducks on what to do as Anaheim is looking to get the series sweep on Montreal. Carlson, John Carlson, Mintyukov, Granlund, Killorn, and Washi for Anaheim. Philip Deneau to take the face-off for Montreal. It's not going to be Demidov. Deneau with the face-off win, and Hudson lost an edge! Montreal has to hurry back to get onside here. It comes back, and it is an intentional offside with 4 seconds left. So as Montreal were to get things resettled up. But the only question is, where is this faceoff going to be? They're going to take the faceoff at center ice. Fowler is going to remain pulled, but essentially that's going to seal the deal. Unless if the Canadiens can get an unlikely goal from center ice. Deneau tried to move it over, but it's tipped over to the Montreal end. That is going to seal it. Welcome to Anaheim, John Carlson. The Ducks pick up their first win with him on the defensive core for free. It's the final score. Cutter Gauthier, the hero, Leo Carlson strikes twice, and Troy Terry gets a warm welcome back. Oh, man. What a game this was.
Yes, sir.
2 points in Montreal. The Canadiens had the shot advantage 30-28. Hits are 17-14. The face-off 30-26. Montreal in the latter stat. Anaheim in the middle stat. Well, giveaways, 9. But do keep in mind about this. The Canadiens totaled 19 giveaways in this game. That's the telling stat about it. And their 19 giveaways was the full story of why they couldn't secure the win. Giveaways. You have to take care of the puck more if you're Montreal. You cannot have games like this heading into the postseason. But, Ian, you did mention that you need Anaheim to win so as to keep this playoff race alive for Detroit and Columbus.
That's right.
And you got your wish.
Excellent. Now I just need Columbus. Now I just need Columbus to start finding winning form and hope I need both Columbus and Detroit to do that. And I also need the Bruins to completely collapse.
We'll find out more tomorrow when Boston travels to Newark and Detroit hosts Calgary. So we'll find out more about that. But we'll keep an eye out on USA versus the Dominican Republic throughout the rest of the night. But may the madness begin. We're 1 month until the end of the regular season. Well, and we know March Madness is college basketball, but it is mayhem in the NHL throughout March and the final month in April. All right. Anything to wrap this up, Ian, before we close?
No.
All right. Well, hoping that USA pulls out this win and that we move on from Mark DeRosa after the World Baseball Classic.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Alongside Ian Genge and Alec Nava, take good care.
Yes, sir.